Alright, so rather than me recapping every session like I normally do, I'm going to start having you guys do the recapping, which I think I had done at the end of the Valkyria game anyways. So someone want to recap last week for me?
Yeah.
Not it.
Yeah, I can do. Whatever. So we were all independently trying to get to Felheim, but as we were trying to board the airship, there was an announcement that said we all needed special passes to get on there. None of us had those, so we all went out various ways to try and get those passes. Elvie and Lachille, I think her name is. They got into some bother because they tried to go with this forger who ended up being a fake forger and mugged them. A couple of us helped, and I managed to get on the ship with them, escorting Lachille as a prisoner. Then we had Hobble. He first of all went to some gangsters, and then he ended up going to a lord, got the gangsters beat up, and acquired a couple of tickets. Didn't give one to Thaddeus because Thaddeus sucks. And
Hey, Thaddeus was creative.
and then Thaddeus used some fucking dodgy magic to sneak his way onto the ship, basically imitated a ticket. We all got on the ship, and we had a merry old time for a couple of weeks. Then it all went to shit because we were attacked by bird, lizard, fish things. We had a bit of a fight with those, and we fought valiantly and won. And then we were attacked by their mum, who promptly fucked up our airship, and now we're crashing.
That was a classy sounding fucking recap right there.
Well, thank you very much.
So classy. Next time you better go the full length of the song. I'm kidding. Alright, so you guys are all on this ship that is quite obviously plummeting from the sky. This creature, as... What's your name? Where are you? Renus. So, delicately put, this large mum creature of the flying lizard fish came bellowing towards you, bellowing this thunderous streak of lightning, damaging the ship in numerous areas. You watched as people started to fly off the ship. You yourselves clung to the hull as best you could. Some of you retreating further below the decks, perhaps into your rooms, or doing whatever you can, gathering your belongings, trying not to suffer the same death as everyone else. As the ship plummets to the ground below, as more and more of these crew and passengers are ripped from the vessel, you, even the ones inside, begin to see parts of the ship just entirely begin to break off, torn from the hull altogether. Crates and barrels begin to spiral out of their holdings, this deadly shrapnel following in the wake of this devastation. This wind tunnel begins to erupt throughout the entirety of the inside, sucking out whatever it can. You see more people fly out with screams of despair. I need everyone to take a give me a strength saving throw.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, not my strong suit. Jesus.
Or anyone's
What?
strong suit.
My shit ain't rolling double number.
Yeah, remember we're all tied together as well, so...
Yeah.
Is every single one of you tied together?
Yeah, we're tied together, and there's a grappling hook, and the javelins that we picked up off the things are like stabbed into the hull, and we're tied around those right now, so...
We're like tied to each other in ink, basically.
Okay, so tethered together by this makeshift sort of harness, each of you locked with one another. What is the order of locking, actually?
Rhaenys and
Yeah, Renus and the Sheila are definitely next to each other.
yeah, they tied themselves to each other first, and then I think they came to Hobble. So I want to say Hobble's probably tied to Rhaenys.
And then I think I would probably be tied to Hobble, but not Thaddeus. Because I don't.
Well, Thaddeus showed
Yeah.
up last.
Right, so I'd probably be on the other end, I guess.
So
He'd
we've got
probably be tied to the shield.
Thaddeus, Lasheel, Renus, Hobble, Elvi.
Yeah, and I think Lasheel is on the grappling hook end.
Okay, so hella confusing.
Alice, you're muted.
We're not hitting the button.
Or not, something.
We have
Your
not.
mouth moved.
I don't know that we've heard you since you got on.
She's a quiet child.
Alright, so while she's figuring that out, as all of you try to hold on to both the ship and one another, some of you aren't so strong. Hobble, you're naturally quite small, and as this suction sweeps throughout the ship, a fair number of you are sort of picked up, only sort of held down by the brute strength of Elvi, and at this point, Lasheel, holding onto the hull while the rest of you sort of are literally lifted off of the ground, this lack of gravity overtaking you. As much as you try to hold on, your small stature, Hobble, sort of takes you. You start to slip out of the reins of this looped rope. A few seconds later, you're pulled straight from it. The rest of you watch as he plummets out of the ship, sucked into one of the holes out the side. You lose sight of him entirely.
Hobble!
Can I react in some way?
What would you like to react in doing?
As I am being... Who is closest to me as I'm exiting the ship?
On the side
yeah,
on the side you get pulled out on and sucked out from, Thaddeus would be the closest.
I'm going to, as I'm flying out the ship, I'm going to point to Thaddeus and cast message, and I'm going to tell him, "I'll find you guys." And then I'm gone.
Hold on, I'm looking at something.
Okay, so he
Like, wait.
he sends you. Where's my music?
What's, never mind, okay. We're good.
So, he sends you this message, you get it, you watch as he's pulled out from the ship entirely. Your arm kind of instinctively reaches out from him, but there's no use. He's long gone before you even have a chance. As you look back, as you yourself are still kind of held up out of the ground, Thaddeus, trying to regain your hold, kind of pulling one hand up after the other, trying to get closer and closer, bringing yourself back down. You watch as the rope where you're tethered, this end being, or the grappling hook is, it's split in basically three directions, one part on the hull, and split two ways between the other three and you. As much as you try to regain a grip, you see the rope begin to start to come apart at the seam. One by one, you watch it rip. Literally flashes before your eye, and a second later, you too are pulled out of the ship.
I'm just gonna kind of scream as I get pulled out of the ship. Look back at everybody. Ah!
With just the three of you, you can feel the Nightingale beginning to plummet further and further, and the closer it seems to get to impact, the more you know you're coming to the surface, the less the screams of terror seem to ring out throughout the ship. Simply less people on the ship to fly out. Hobble, as you're flying through the air, descending quite rapidly to the ground below, as you wait for your impending doom, looking down, you see the green-hued liquid wasteland sort of inviting you into its maw.
Motherfucker.
Your eyes suddenly roll back in your head. Your vision is entirely whisked away from you. You no longer feel the pull of the air or gravity even, as you're brought down to the water below. Instead, you once again see yourself masked in this green aura that you've seen and experienced before. In it, your face is unmoving, eyes are wide, and your mouth is agape. Then the vision starts to retreat a bit, and more of your body becomes visible to you. And as it does, you see that it's not just your face, but your entire body that's shrouded and encased in this green aura. But you also realize that this aura doesn't seem to move or change either. It's just as still as you are. As you start to think this over, it doesn't matter. A second later, you're no longer entrapped, no longer encased. You don't even see yourself anymore, but instead, you find yourself amidst a sandy shoreline. Smoke and fire melding with the serene, crystalline blue water behind you.
That was all part of my vision, or
It's all part of your vision.
Okay.
Thaddeus, you don't have quite the same luxury of seeing nice things. Instead, you watch quite clearly the entire way down as you plummet and descend, picking up speed, going faster and faster. Eventually, you slam straight into the water. As you're coming down, you can see the land in front of you. You're relatively close to the shore as you're making impact. Perhaps you even try to maneuver your way towards the water so that you don't hit the ground. You see this vast open land filled with lush trees, vast mountain ranges. But after a few moments, you too slam hard into the water and everything goes black. For those of you that managed to retain your grip, you don't see the same things. You simply watch each other. You hear the screams of these people, shrapnel headed all over the place. Some of you perhaps getting cut by a wayward wood. That's the word. Wood, as it splinters into your skin and flies all about the ship before also coming out. You can hear a sharp whistling sound. You hear the billowing flames all about you. You can perhaps even see the fire starting to intake the ship. And eventually, with this loud, thunderous poof, the ship hits ground. And just as Thaddeus, each of you is slammed hard into the wood and the hull of the ship, and your world goes black. Hubble. You awake, perhaps the first, or really you're not sure. When you awake, you're upside down, submerged in a body of water. It seems to flow all about you. You quickly come to shaking, you're choking up water. Not sure whether or not you can swim, but you most undoubtedly flail about on the spot. You manage to catch your breath, but water is spitting and coughing up from your lungs. You're only perhaps a few dozen yards away from a shoreline.
Is there anything else? Is there debris around me? Is it just open water and the shore?
Not quite. As you look around, you're kind of wiping the water from your eyes. It hurts to blink. Who knows how long you've been submerged for. But as you look around, almost looming over you, you see what appears to be half of the hull of this ship, halfway submerged in the water, either half protruding, coming up on the shoreline, crashed against this large rocky formation. You kind of cough up more water and you look as you see more debris floating around.
Based on my vision, I will swim towards the debris, not the shore.
Give me a perception. Well, you see the hole.
Swimming towards it. Yeah, if I have the strength, I'd like to swim towards, like, there. On the ship, but away from the shore.
Okay. So, it's it takes all of your remaining strength. You're bruised, battered, still finding hard to breathe. It's hard to even see this foamy water coalescing in your eyes, but nevertheless, you push as best you can, and luckily there seems to be, at this point, they're not tremendously hard, but some subtle waves that help guide it and push you towards the shore. You have to put in quite a bit of effort for what would normally be quite minimal, but you eventually make your way to this part of the ship that's half submerged.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull myself out onto the ship and just lay there, catch my breath, try to regain some strength.
Okay. Renus, you're the next that seems to awaken. You, like Hobble, find yourself in the water. There's a piece of rope gathered around your waist where you tied it, but it's broken off after maybe 4 or 5 feet, if even that.
Okay, I'm going to remove the rope. It's a hindrance now. What can I see around me?
Give me a perception. It's pretty good. So, you very obviously make out as you catch your breath, coughing up the same water floating around. You rub the water from your eyes, but you clearly make out beside you one of the very large blimps that used to be on either side of the airship, slowly dipping and sinking further and further. You can see it's still smoldering and burning in various areas from where it was hit by the thunderous attack. A little bit further out, past some rocks and debris, you see this massive ship. 22, you see the laid out form of a small figure. From how far you are, you can't tell if it's moving or not, but you have a pretty good indication of who it is.
I'm going to swim over to that person. Who has vanished?
Okay. You make your way over. And the closer you get as you pull yourself up, same as with Hobble, the swim over is hard. It should have been fairly simple. You also were met with this debris in the way and these large jagged rock formations that you have to try and avoid as the waves kind of try to push you into them. But you evade them, you make your way over using whatever's left of your strength to pull you up onto the deck of the ship and out of the water as it drips from you and your gear. You make out Hobble laying there. You see his chest slowly, subtly rising before deflating. His eyes are closed at the moment. Who knows how long he's been there for.
Okay, so I thought you were talking about this person. Can I drag this person with me?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, give me
Want to drag it over?
Yeah, you don't need a strength check. It pretty weightless in the water. So you pull this person onto the deck, and almost immediately you recognize that it's one of the guards that was previously on board. You can tell he's not breathing whatsoever.
Okay. I mean, can I do a little check if he's like actually dead? I mean, not breathing and dead are pretty far apart.
Give me a medicine check.
Nope.
As you're knelt over him, trying to check for a pulse or anything, it's clear that he's not breathing, but you're not entirely sure whether or not he's alive. But his chest definitely isn't moving. You have him rolled over on his back, and as you put your ear to his mouth, there's nothing escaping his lips. Just as you're about to pull away, however, one arm reaches up and grabs you. It turns your face towards him. You see his eyes have this eerie glow about him. His mouth is slightly agape. You see water instantly pour out of it.
Yeah, like I step back.
Take a athletic check. Okay, he tries to hold onto you with his grip, but you manage to tear yourself away. Nevertheless, he sort of lifts himself up ever so slightly, faster than you imagine. These glowing blue, pale eyes stare back at you. We had a deal. You made the promise.
I made you no promise.
As he says this, as the last words wisp out as you make your reply, the eyes go dark, losing their glowing luster. The mouth falls back, and he slumps back down onto the deck, no longer breathing, seemingly no longer alive.
Okay, with Hobble over there, I'm going to just, I'm going to call out to him and just see if he responds to me.
Do I hear him call out?
Yeah, you guys are only like 50 feet away or so. I mean, you're on the ship together, so it's not too far. You definitely hear him.
When I hear him call out, I'll sit up, look over, and recognizing Renus, I'll start walking over towards him.
Can you see any of the others? I only found this guard. He's dead.
I didn't see. I'm like very shaken as I'm talking to him. I didn't see anybody. I fell out of the ship. I blacked out and I swam over to the boat here. What's going on with you?
I woke up in the water.
Yeah, same here. Have you been over to the shore?
No, I only just got aboard.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the others.
What is like around us generally? Like this is the tree line of a forest, is it?
It is. Both of you give me a perception. Okay, So you guys are at a higher vantage point now as you've climbed your way up this ship, which is quite a bit higher in the air. You can see a bit more of your surroundings. You both distinctly make out at least another portion of the ship slammed into this massive rock formation on the beachhead, completely splintered and destroyed. You see debris littered all over the place, bodies everywhere as well. Beyond that, you see what turns pretty quickly into a very wide-reaching and dense forest line. Renus, as you look out, you see as well, beyond these very basic surroundings, littered among the corpses and whatnot, a familiar body yet again on this platform.
Okay, so I see Lasheel. Is she up?
At the moment, no.
Okay, so I'm going to turn to Hobble and say, I see Lasheel, and I'm going to just work my way off the boat, and I'm going to run straight over to climb up these barrels up onto the other ship if possible.
Okay. As you're running your way across, kind of pull yourself carefully down the other ship, down the rocky formation, across the way there. You hear a familiar voice call out to you from the west. Or what would be the west on our screens. Elvie, you come bumbling over this large, rocky, mountainous area. For you're not quite sure how, whether it was just before impact or as the ship splintered, but you ended up quite a fair distance away from the wreckage. You woke up, not even in the water, you were already washed up on the beach, and there was very little around you, very little wreckage, but you could quite easily make out in the distance the large, billowing plumes of smoke where the main hull of the ship had descended and crashed, where you presumably first were. Kind of started to trudge and traverse your way across this large rocky area, and as you come to, you see what looks to be the form of a dark elf dashing his way across the beachhead.
Alright, I'm gonna shout, Venus, is that you?
So mid sprint across there, I'm gonna stop my tracks and look around for where the sound came from. LV?
I'm gonna be waving my hand in the air. Over here!
The shield's on the ship.
I'm gonna sprint over to them as fast as I can if I'm wounded or whatever.
Okay. So, as you are sprinting across, both of you, and Hobble, as you're still standing up there taking everything in, the more you stand on the beachhead, the more you move further and further in, you very quickly realize you're not quite alone. As you move across, as you look out at the debris and just the mass devastation that's uptaken this entire region, you see amongst the debris littering the ground a number of creatures sifting through the loot, the cargo, the various crates, barrels, and anything else that had fallen off the ship and landed here on the beach. You watch as they rummage through it with their small paws, some of them looking even through the pockets of the dead. You see long tails coiled around already found loot, hefting up swords and arrows and all sorts of things inside hands, mouth, and tail. as much as you run across the beach, as you notice them, they're so preoccupied with everything that they haven't seemed to have taken notice of you. And there's at least a half dozen littered amongst everything. Assuming you're still running up to the shield then.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. You both make it there. Renus, you get there a bit before Elvi. He catches up sooner rather than later as both of you pull your way up the rocky mound. You guys should have control of your tokens, but...
Yeah, I didn't know how far you wanted us to move and things, if you were stopping us with stuff like that.
No, you guys are good at the moment.
Cool, so I'm going to run over and just see if she's awake, breathing.
Give me another medicine check.
Oh man, I suck.
Terrible.
It's exactly the same.
So, as you go to check for a pulse, perhaps it's the thick, water-ridden and heavy fur that blocks you from telling, but as far as you can tell, she's not breathing.
Okay. I'm gonna just put my ear to her chest, see if she has a heartbeat.
You put your head down to her chest and you hear just the faintest of heartbeats coming from her chest. The rise and fall of her lungs seems minimal. You can see that there's the rope that's tied around her is cut on both ends. She's met with numerous deep lacerations. There's blood soaking the wood around her. There's, in fact, blood, a trail of it, coming up from the lower hole. It almost seems as if she dragged her way up here before falling unconscious finally atop the upper deck.
Okay. I'm going to remove the rope because it's going to make it harder for her to breathe. And I'm going to instruct LV to bandage some of the wounds. I'm going to give him some of the kit, and we're going to work together to stop her bleeding.
All right.
Yep.
Another medicine with advantage, whoever's doing it.
Fuck. 19 at least.
Thank God for that.
3 again, every single time. I have +1 to this. That's 3 times in a row.
So luckily, with both of you working as fast as you can to stitch up and wrap as many wounds as possible, stopping this major bleeding, you seem to get most of it, if not all of it, eventually. It takes a bit of time. Hobble, you can see them in the distance. You're not sure exactly what's happening, but you can see them working on this.
Okay, I'm gonna do a quick little look around the shore. Is it on fire?
The shore itself, no. The only thing that still seems to be billowing some markings of fire seems to still be smoldering and burning. Appears to be the large blimp. It's almost entirely sunken at this point.
And is the shore? Everything is still like a green haze.
For you, no. As you've slowly come to, Everything's returned to normal coloration. In fact, as you look back behind you, you see that the water doesn't appear to be this murky green that it was before, but it's quite clear, aside from the blotch of dark material that's been strewn about by the falling ship.
Alright, if everything looks relatively safe aside from that, I'm gonna climb down the rocks and make my way over to the group here.
Okay. As you move your way across, it takes you a bit longer to climb your way down, and your short feet only take you as fast as you can across the way. As you do, you see this creature still rummaging through what looks to be a corpse, top part of the ship, just over here. He hears you as a piece of rock breaks under your foot and tumbles to the ground. You see him jolt around and look at you. He's got a couple pieces of gear in his paws, and he just sort of watches you as you move by. He doesn't make any moves towards you, simply kind of looks and stares. At one point, as you make eye contact with him, he sort of just...
What is my gear situation? Do I have my pack? Could I have grabbed it from the ship? Like,
Yeah.
is it lost?
No, you got it with you.
I'm far away from this thing, but what can I tell about its size? Like, how big is it compared to me? Who I just decided am a 1.5 feet tall.
It's perhaps a little bit bigger than you, perhaps more the size of a halfling.
Okay. I'm gonna, I'm not gonna interact with it in any way. After we make eye contact, I'm just gonna turn back to climbing up these rocks and get on the broken part of the ship here.
Okay.
Yeah, when I see Hobble, I crack a little smile and just relieved.
Alvin, you made it.
Yeah, and I see you're still in one piece as well.
Barely.
I haven't seen Thaddeus, and the shield's in really bad shape.
What happened to her?
Don't know, I just think she clawed her way up here.
Is she alive?
For now.
Okay, good. What is the temperature where we are? Is it cold? Is it
It's
tropical?
quite tropical, actually. Pretty warm, aside from the fact that you're still soaked from the water, which has kept you pretty cool. It's quite warm.
What's the time looking like as well? Is the sun high? Is it setting, rising?
You're not sure how long you guys were out for. You're not even sure how long it's been since you've crashed. But from the sun itself, it appears to be almost directly above you at this point.
Okay. You two keep an eye out for Thaddeus. I need to go get something. And I'm going to go off the back of the ship. And I'm gonna get back in the water.
As you're leaving, I want to tell you, I want to ask you to, I want to suggest, hey, if you grab some wood on your way back, I can make a fire and we can dry our clothes.
Yeah, good idea. But I'm going to go and dive, actually, into the water.
Okay.
And I want to swim over to the remains of the blimp, and I'm going to pull out a dagger, and I'm going to begin cutting out like a 12-foot long strip of the blimp, quite wide, maybe like 8 feet wide. It's a really big sheet. Any part that's that big that's survived.
Okay. Although it's taken pretty massive damage, there's still a very large portion of it that's fine. It's quite easy to rip away and cut out these various strips. As you're
Yeah, I
doing
want
that,
like a big sheet, basically, just one sheet. I'm gonna keep coming up and down for air to do this, but
okay.
yeah.
As you're doing that, as Elvie and Hobble, as you guys are standing over Lachille, you hear some movement up ahead, and as you look down the length of the ship that you're on, you see one of these creatures, quite hairy, brown, thick, wiry fur, sort of pull its way up as the head just peeks out over the edge, staring at you. You see its head sort of cock, eyes wide.
Hey, I'm gonna slowly reach into my pocket and pull out 3 gold pieces, and kind of after I make sure he sees them, I'm going to kind of toss them towards this fellow over here.
Okay, where's... Oh, I think it's here, right?
Yes. Sorry, what are you throwing over there?
3 gold pieces. I'm gonna show him. See, and then just toss them.
You see his vision, his eyes noticeably watch as the gold flies that way. It's sort of lingers on the area where it loses sight of the coins for a second, and then looks back to you. A second later, its paws let go of that end of the ship, and it drops out of sight. You can hear it sort of pawing its way, crawling out towards where the coins fell, and you, after a few moments, see him sifting through the sand trying to find it, and eventually he comes upon this corpse and starts going through that as well.
I'm gonna lean over to Elvie, and I'm gonna say, not whisper, but just softly, I saw that thing going through one of the bodies on the beach. I think we gotta be careful with those.
Yeah, I saw a few on my way over here too, and they're little scavengers.
Yeah, I wonder how long it'll take them to start scavenging us.
My guess is not too long.
I'm not really in any position to fight, so we should think about finding Thaddeus as soon as Renus gets back and the ship can move, because we gotta get off the beach.
I roll my eyes at Thaddeus, and when he says that, just... Yeah, we should really move.
Can I see Renus from where I am?
Yeah, you would have seen him go off towards the water. Know that he's over there by the blimp.
I'm gonna point at him and cast message and say, hey, how's it going over there? We're getting nervous about these creatures on the beach. Just want to make sure you're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm almost finished. I'm cutting us a canvas for a tent.
Do you see Thaddeus on your way?
He's not over here.
Okay. We're still doing alright.
Yes, I'm gonna quick time this, like roughly cut the last bit. I don't need it to be a perfect line, and then I'm gonna drag it out the water at least.
Okay. You begin pulling it out of the water. As you hit shore, you can see this creature rummaging through the corpse over on the left side, much closer than they were previously. What are the rest of you doing?
Laying down.
Hey, we heard her.
Hey.
At this point, I'd like to move up. Is there any point on this piece of boat that's higher than any of the rest?
The end on the upper side, the north side, appears to be a bit higher.
Move up to that point, and I'm going to start scanning the beach for Thaddeus.
Give me a perception. What's a Thaddeus even look like?
Trying, you guys.
You don't see any sign of him in particular. All you see are these various bodies littered across the beach, the water, the various hulls of the ship, and these creatures which seem to be getting closer and closer, growing more and more bold.
I'm going to walk back to Elfie. And I'm going to say, hey, if we want to brave it with these creatures, I could shoot some fire up in the air. Maybe it'll act like a flare, and if Thaddeus is here, he might see it. It's risky, though. We don't want to attract any more attention than we already have.
Do whatever you think is best.
I'm going to wait for Renus to get back before I do anything.
Yeah, so once I'm done with cutting this, I'm just going to leave it on the shore. I'm not going to drag it back with me. I'm just going to leave it laid out flat, just drying out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to get my way up back onto the ship.
Okay.
So I don't know if can I do that now, or is...
Yeah, you're good.
Yep.
How's Lachelle doing? Is she conscious at this point?
She is not conscious yet, no.
Alright,
She does
that
seem
being-
far more stable as you kind of keep an eye on her. You could see that she's breathing quite a bit easier now, chest heaving up and down faster and more apparently.
That being the case, I'm going to look at Renus when he gets back and say, I have an idea. I can shoot a firebolt into the air, and maybe it'll act like a flare. And if Thaddeus is nearby, maybe he'll see it and know to find us. But it might get the attention of whatever these creatures are. And I'm not in any shape to fight right now.
No, me neither. But in my experience, animals, they're usually scared of fire. I can do something to scare them off as well, if you like. At least deter them from coming near us while we wait up here. But no, I think it's a good idea, not just for Thaddeus, but any survivors. There were lots of people on that ship.
All right, I'll shoot my spell, and if the creatures start to get bold, then you can scare them off.
Oh, I was going to cast dancing lights around us.
Oh yeah, go for it. What color are they?
They're purple.
Perfect. Once he's cast the lights, I'm going to point my hand straight up into the air, and I'm going to cast Firebolt straight out.
Okay. So, you point your finger up, the fire goes straight out, billows around your finger for a second before jolting straight up into the air. It kind of crescendos higher and higher until it reaches a point maybe 120 feet, ironically enough, into the air before sort of exploding in this fairly large way, bigger than a firebolt normally would upon hitting someone. Thaddeus.
Yes.
You don't remember a whole lot. As soon as you hit the water, your world went black. You feel like you were like that for an eternity. It's an almost familiar experience, this complete darkness. As you stay there, you don't even really have thought. All you remember as you wake up is something, a vision of sorts. You're not entirely sure what it meant, and it's kind of blurry. You're not even sure that you could recollect it fully. All you recall is a faintly white almost ghostly background. Something, perhaps a ghost or a wraith, some entity of this sort in front of you, beckoning and calling you forward. The light getting brighter and brighter as you come closer, as you come nearer to it. Suddenly, as you reach this figure, everything becomes incredibly bright. Your eyes open to this large explosion up ahead. You're looking straight up at the sky. Your back is on the beachhead, and all you make out is this explosion of fire that almost blinds you. You have to close your eyes again before you can reopen them to seeing your surroundings. You're sort of nestled between two large areas of stone, one a very long, high facing cliff, the other just this rocky formation.
So do I recognize that now as a firebolt or some kind of fire, or I mean, am I still disoriented?
You're still pretty disoriented. You're not even sure that that was real. Perhaps it was a part of your dream. It happened almost as soon as you reached whatever was beckoning you.
All right, so I guess I'm gonna stumble my way towards this looks like a broken crate, and as I'm stumbling, kind of looking down on the ground, I see like a little carving, like a little wood carving of a quarter moon. So I'm just gonna kind of pick that up mindlessly, and do I see these ape-looking things?
Take perception. Nice. So,
2020, baby, perfect vision.
you're quite disoriented, but there's nothing that gets Thaddeus going like a good knick-knack.
There you go.
As you wipe off the sand from it, kind of grin passing your face. Not only are you alive, but you're finding treasures. You pocket it away and you look up. There's a couple creatures just in front of you. You see him rummaging through the various dead and through the scattered loot of the ship. Up ahead, as you look past them, you see on this risen area where part of the ship has been dismantled, the rest of your kind of newfound allies.
Okay. Not liking the looks of these ape things. I'm definitely going to try to avoid them, especially being pretty disoriented and fucked up from the fall there. So, can I climb up here? Is that possible? Yeah. I think I had like 20 feet of movement left.
Yeah. Oh, we're not in combat, so you're good. It takes you a while to climb up there, but you're able to clamber and move your way up slowly but surely.
Alright, so I just want to, as far as I can move, I guess not in combat, I want to head towards this direction and, come around this way and try to get up there somehow.
Okay, so you're moving pretty rapidly, trying to clear it as fast as you can. You've got a slight limp just from the crash, but you keep going. As you get about halfway down the ship where it's kind of in shambles there at the center, you have to climb your way onto the side and give me an acrobatics as you move your way across that railing, a support beam that is less than structurally, it doesn't really have much integrity left. Acrobatics, sir.
Acrobatics.
7 plus whatever your acrobatics modifier would be.
A little better.
Okay, so not terrible. You go moving your way across, but you just almost slip and falter at one point. A piece of the ship goes crashing down below you. This creature closest to you looks up. You see it start to dig its paws, or what you'd assume to be its legs, into the ground. Its two front hands shoving away dirt. It's on all fours. You see the hair raise up on its back as it looks to you. At this point, the other four of you likely see him, the other three of you, one of you is unconscious, see him running across. You take note of this creature down below as well.
It's on everyone else now, right?
Well, on you as well. You get to the other side, but you can see this creature looking quite aggressive.
Alright,
If we see him, I'm gonna point at Thaddeus and cast message. Say, Thaddeus, you're okay.
yeah, I'm gonna respond back. I think so. I'm a little banged up, but yeah, I'm glad to see you guys are as well.
Do you think are you okay? Are you well enough to get to us?
I hope so, but can you guys distract this monkey?
A what?
Whatever it is, ape, whatever that thing is.
I will relay to LV and Rhaenys what we're talking about, and say Thaddeus is on the boat. He's on the other side. He's okay. He can get to us, but whatever that creature is, it's getting aggressive. Can we do anything about it?
I think I can do something about that. So the purple orbs are just currently like spinning around us in like a cordon around. But I make them shoot over towards this ape down here and merge into the same point. So it looks like there's a human-ish shape light there now, just right in front of it.
Okay, you watch as all of them very quickly, they're kind of slow actually I think, but relatively speaking, quickly hover over to the front of this creature, forming this vaguely humanoid shape. The creature instantly sort of moves backwards, starts clawing at it as fast and as rapidly as it can, realizing that nothing's happening to it. It sort of tucks tail, turns around and dashes as fast as it can. You hear it begin to sort of hoot and holler, getting louder and louder. Suddenly, the other ones around it begin to take notice. Most of them seem to follow it. Those rummaging through the corpses kind of move with it. You see them retreat into the forest. They clamber up into the trees with quite rapidly.
I wanted to Star Wars this a little bit, but I'm going to refrain.
Oh, I know what you were going to say. I will continue my message with Thaddeus and tell him, it's safe now, come on over.
Yeah, I'm gonna be moving that way after seeing that ape thing run off. Can I get up here, or is this side too high?
No, you can.
Okay.
It takes a little while.
Yeah, I'll give you a hand as well.
As you're climbing up that side, as you're finally pulled up by Rhaenys, the rest of you still watching these apes, or whatever they are, spoiler alert. Obvious things are obvious.
I mean,
As the...
I'm pretty sure there's squirrels.
Oh, yes. Narwhals, actually. Orcas.
orcas, yeah.
Land
They are
orcas.
not- No.
Not land orcas?
Apes and orcas, baby, yeah.
Alright, so... You see that most of them retreat, and as Rhaenys is being pulled up, those of you still standing around Sheila, you suddenly hear this as she seems to regain consciousness. As you look down, her eyes are open. You're breathing quite heavily. You've lost quite a bit of blood. You're not faring any better than the others here. But you are conscious now, Sheila. And as you regain consciousness, the rest of you start to take note of the fact that while most of these creatures seem to have dashed away, a couple of them are very slowly prowling towards the ship.
I'm gonna look down at my shield and say, "Oh, top of the morning to you, lassie."
I'm never flying again. What's going on?
You and me both.
We seem to be in a bit of dodgy trouble here.
Yeah, there are these hairy little beasts. They're looting the bodies. They're getting quite brave. Hobble, do you reckon you could set fire to that barrel down there?
I could scare them off with a loud noise too. Or I could try.
Yeah, I mean, I want something a little bit more, forceful than that.
Fair enough. I'll walk over to the edge of the ship here, and I'll cast Firebolt down on that barrel.
I need everyone to roll me initiative.
Should have stopped.
So I have 1 health.
You just had to throw that rock in the ice, didn't you, Hound?
I was totally fine to cast Minor Illusion and just make a sound.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would have attacked if you'd done that as well. So,
But thankfully, the wizard put himself in front of the group.
well, I mean, that's the best place for you, right?
Okay, so
You're like 25 AC, man.
yeah. So, I think everyone's rolled. Maybe not. Nope, we're good. Some were good, some were bad. No in between.
What's their dex?
Thad, what is your dex?
Yeah, well, mine's +2.
What's your dex score?
14.
Roll it.
Yeah, we can
So-
do that. What do you want to roll?
No, we're good.
Alright, so these things are
So,
kind of like starting to
you're a
balance.
bit closer than that. You're probably in the middle of everyone else. As Hobble goes moving over, hobbling over to the edge of the ship, as his kind of holds his finger up as fire. I believe it was fire, right? Is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
As fire begins to ignite around his fingers, you hear these two creatures go into a frenzy. They start to holler as loud as they possibly can, and you're first to react to this.
Alright, so seeing them getting all crazy, and I'm just gonna, I'm kind of freaked out by these things. Like, they're nothing like anything I've ran across before. So, not realizing I still have the moon carving in my hand, I'm just gonna kind of hold out my hands and go, stop! And do this.
Go and roll 5d8.
Okay. So obviously I'm going for these two in the front here first. Well, that's only two I see. So yeah, going for them.
Can only hit 1.
Yeah, they're pretty far apart.
The 20-foot range versus a 20-foot radius.
It's
Ah,
90-foot range, 20-foot radius.
I got you. All right.
Oh,
then
just
reverse.
out.
Oh, are they? All right.
You can get one of them though.
Okay.
Which one would you like to go for?
I think the one right here that's at the bottom.
Okay, as they get on all fours and go into this full sprint, you watch as one of them just fucking face plants out of nowhere. You yell stop, and suddenly his eyes lull back, eyelids shut, and he just face plants into the giant rocky mound in front of him, completely unmoving. Anything else?
Yeah, as I bring my hands back down, I'm just gonna kind of realize now that I have that little carving still in my hand, I'm gonna be like, fuck yeah, another one! And just stick it in my pocket.
Okay. Don't, oh, it might. Nope. Okay, this creature comes running up, still on all fours, dashing its way towards you. Not quite dashing, but running his way up the side. As it does so, you see it, well, with a brief second as you're getting ready to cast your firebolt, it shoves up a piece of rock and chucks it straight at you,
At who?
at Hobble.
Oh no.
If I want to cast shield, do I wait for you to roll, or do I do it first?
You wait for me to roll, I believe, right? I think.
Yep.
It's like a reaction, so yeah.
It's weird on roll 20 because I show my rolls, but you're good.
Yep, I have a 16 AC right now.
That's
dubs.
with shield or
With mage armor, which I cast on the both against the bird things.
that should be long gone though. What's the
8
duration on it?
8-hour duration.
Yeah, 2 hours.
All right, it's still up. So the rock comes hurtling it towards you. You see it. It's going straight towards your face. All of a sudden, it just stops, maybe a couple inches in front of you. This force field just pings off and falls to the ground. And it goes to Renus.
Okay, so seeing all this happen, I'm going to run my way to the front, and I would like to just push my way in front of Hobble, stand over him. I can kind of I can step over him. He's that short, and I'm going
3.5 feet tall.
Yeah, got long legs, Joe, like a model. And I'm going to stand in front of him, shield out, and I'm gonna go dodge, and I'm going to cast Shield of Faith.
Okay. Hobble. Pew pew.
Alright, let me see. I am going to stop casting the firebolt that I was planning, and I'm going to instead start enacting the motions to cast Grease. I need a 10 by 10 square.
Of ink.
If you don't mind. I want to place it sort of here-ish, so that it gets this guy, but is also in the path of, the easiest way up this hill.
Okay. Anything else?
Can this ape roll his saving throw?
Dang.
Son of a bitch. I'm going to move slightly behind Rainus, but still close to him for emotional support.
Elvie.
Okay. Can I just pull out my, or I'm not gonna say can I, but I'm going to pull out my short bow and just ready an action for the moment I see this creature close enough to someone, whether he's running up to attack someone.
Okay.
Take about 5 feet or so.
Lachille. So you're currently prone, but it's your go.
So I just want to stand up and get out of Elvie's way and just kind of be ready if something gets close enough to actually hit. But I don't want to go after anything. I'm hurt.
Alright. Thaddeus.
Okay, what's that circle? What did I miss?
I cast Grease.
Okay. Dude still sleeping down there?
Most definitely.
Alright. So we got this dude, is he in the grease? Like partially in the grease?
Yes, he's not prone, but it's difficult terrain for him.
Is the grease flammable?
You tell me, DM.
I'm pretty sure.
think
Yeah,
so.
I would say so.
Alright, I'm gonna press the digitation that shit and catch it on fire. I mean, I'm gonna pull out
Nice.
this broken whistle that I have, and I found before that I was able to light campfires and stuff with it, so I'm gonna pull it out and blow in it, although it makes no sound. The grease is gonna catch on fire.
Yeah. You get closer, but yeah.
I need to get closer? Oh yeah,
10 feet.
I will get closer. Oh, that seems about right.
Yeah, you just need to be within 10 feet of the grease, not the creature.
Right. So yeah, do that.
Can you imagine someone saying, I found this broken whistle, it set shit on fire? And that just seems unrealistic.
Because what happened was basically he was sitting around just chilling, like resting by a campfire that wasn't lit, and found this whistle, and he was just like blowing in it. Didn't work. He's just like messing around with it. All of a sudden, campfire like blazes up. So he puts two and two together, and hey, this whistle is what does it. So every time he wants to do a fire, it does a lot of things. This whistle, it's like it's really cool, man. This whistle can do all kinds of stuff, clean you up. But anyway, we'll get into that later.
I just love, like, in a World of Dragons and all this stuff. Like, that's the thing that I'm like, no, that can't be real.
Like, what, a fucking whistle?
Okay, so you move up, you blow your whistle, and all of a sudden this small spark hits the side of the grease. The whole thing becomes ignited in flame. Roll me a d12 for damage.
Respectable.
Okay, the grease is no longer there, as it is all consumed up, like in an instant by this fire. He's sort of on the outskirts, so he's not lit in flames or anything of that nature, but he does take a pretty...
He's covered in fur. Come on, I gotta argue
Oh,
that way.
he takes a sizable 8 damage.
Alright.
He's looking
Quite
quite...
a non-damaging cantrip, but you did pretty well.
Yeah. He's pretty hurt. You can see the front of him as the smoke clears and the fire fiddles out, that his front half is just singed fur. He looks incredibly angry, far angrier than he did before.
How much movement did I use? Any idea?
That's pretty much all of it,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay, then, well, I was what, like here? Because I think Remus was next to me over there.
Yeah, I think you have like 5 feet of movement left if you
Yeah,
want it.
well, I'm moving that 5 feet. Fuck that. Can't even see that shit.
And did you jump down onto the rocks before you blew that whistle? I guess you would have had to, right, to have done that. So,
I guess, yeah.
so
No
you
movement.
can kind of back up into the underbelly of the hole, but you won't be able to get back up on top.
Oh, okay.
And he's not too happy with you.
Well, that's not good.
He just takes him a second to realize what's happened. He's almost frozen over with shock, and then he just goes on all fours and comes charging straight towards you, and he shouldn't have a problem.
Well, how many hit points do you have?
One.
Since I readied my action, when he gets to about 5 feet of Thaddeus, I'm at a higher advantage point, right? Vantage point, I mean?
Yep, that side of the ship
Right.
is higher.
Okay, so once he gets into 5 feet, I'm going to shoot a arrow at him.
Oh, that side of the ship is higher.
Yes, the north side.
Yeah,
Oh,
the north side.
I thought the other one was. I thought we were on the high ground.
That was a 10 hit,
A 10 does not hit.
so I miss.
Tempting is hot. You don't want to hit Thaddeus, so you let off the shot. It goes stray, hits the rocks below. This creature goes lumbering over to Thad.
Well, at least you tried, man.
And as he comes up, he just begins raking it, clawing, trying to pummel you as best he can.
So he only gets that one attack?
Oh no! Oh no!
Come on. Well, I'm definitely dead. It doesn't matter if I use shield
Not
now. I
dead,
can't block
unconscious.
both.
You take
right,
you
yeah.
take two fails though, because of the crit.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I thought it's just
Would you
one,
use
because I'm
shield?
not already dead. Or
well, no, you would be. The,
The
first,
first
hit would
hit-
knock you unconscious.
Yeah, first hit knocks you unconscious. Second hit, because it's a crit, will
Alright, I'll
take two
use
fails.
Crit anyway, automatically.
Well, I don't know that I would call him prone. It's all happening
It's not about
simultaneously.
him being prone, it's about him being incapacitated and
Yes, I
unconscious.
Yeah, I suppose. But still, it was natural.
So it's one or two.
But it's 0 if you just took the hit. You're just unconscious. Because the crit's gonna hit you, right? That's just gonna knock you unconscious.
Alright,
the first
yeah.
one you
So you're
didn't
gonna-
get hit by at all.
So for this time, I'll say it's cool. You can use it on the first one. From here on after, though, you have to say it before I roll all of them.
Well, I mean, this saying I don't have any slots. Did we get our slots back when we got a level up? If not, I can't use that.
I think you get the
Yeah,
one
you get them all
slot for
back.
leveling.
Okay, then yeah, I'm gonna do that on the first one and go unconscious on the second.
Alright. Then future combats, you have to do it before I roll all of them.
No, I just asked. I wasn't sure if it got more than one hit.
Or you wouldn't know anyways.
Well, that's true. Yeah, all right.
Alright. So you grab out your gem last second, brings up this shield, and sort of just breaks through it with his pummel of blows. Eventually one of them connects, just knocking you flat out. And it goes to Renus.
Cool. So seeing this, I'm going to jump down onto it. This part is higher than the rocks, right? I'm gonna be jumping down onto him.
Yes.
Cool. So I go basically sword down straight onto top of it, but I fucking miss.
Just as you're jumping off the edge, the ship, which is already brittle and broken, one of the planks just snaps from under you. You lose your balance. It takes all of your your strength just to catch your footing. You don't even bother following through with the attack. You simply land on the opposite side of him. And if there's nothing else, it goes to Hobbs.
Alright, I'm gonna walk over to the edge of the ship here so I can see this 8, and I will cast Firebolt at it.
Man, we are not on form today.
Fucking miss. I used
That
my
will be a miss.
21 with 8 damage to shoot it into the air.
Yep, that will not hit. With a number of your allies down there, one of them unconscious as you let off the shot, you're trying your hardest not to hit them. It just sort of fizzles out. And it goes to Elvie.
Alright, after seeing my missed shot and Thaddeus being pummeled, I'm going to drop my short bow and sprint as fast as I can to there. And as I'm running, I'm pulling out my 2 daggers and going to what is it called? Flank them with Renus.
Go and roll them both.
That'll be since I'm flanking, I think that'll be a 16
Yep.
and a 12.
You get your sneak attack on the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, they do. Winning.
Yeah.
Alright, so you drop the bow, pull out both daggers, you come running along, kind of even go to a slide at the end as it's a downward slope. As you do, you quickly thrust both daggers up into this creature. Blood begins to just seep from the wounds. You pull them out, kind of ripping along the sides. He falls down, and he is quite dead. But there is a sleeping creature, so we're still in combat.
Yep.
So, Lashil, would you like to do anything?
Has anyone tried to like patch Thaddeus up or anything?
Haven't had a turn since now.
No, nobody's touched him.
Okay, can I just see if I can like keep him from completely dying?
Yeah, you can move over to him and do a medicine check.
Okay.
Solid roll. So, you run over to him, you see the top of his head where he got just scratch clawed and decked straight in the face by this creature. Pretty large open wound. You tear off some of the wrapping that they used for you, just the stray pieces. You quickly wrap it around him, stopping the flow of blood, at least momentarily. And he is stable. And he's still unconscious. So, Renus.
I'm going to step over to him, and I'm just have this sort of this feeling that I'm going to put my hand on him, and I'm going to cure him for 4 hit points. And then return to this say, do you see any more?
Hobble.
The only one I see is that one sleeping there. I'm familiar with what I think Thaddeus did to it, and if that's the case, then we should get in the best positions possible to take advantage of it. It won't wake up for quite some time. And with that, I'm going to walk to the edge of the ship. Yeah. And I will just ready myself to cast a spell.
Okay. Elvie.
Did I kill this ape or knock it unconscious?
Killed it. Unless you were trying to knock it unconscious.
I don't know. I was just trying. I didn't know I was actually gonna like do that much damage to it. But
Do you speak ape?
do I speak ape? I do not. But no, I was just thinking that we will, instead of killing it, just it's sleeping already, just knock it unconscious. So I'm gonna kind of say that. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, oh guys, these the ape's just kind of laying there. I don't know. He could wake up, but just a quick knock to the head will, leave him unconscious for a few hours. Plenty of time for us to gather our things and leave.
I think it's better to do a show of strength.
Yeah, well,
We could tie it up.
Just a beast.
We could tie it up and try to make friends with it, maybe. It's an option. I don't know if it's a good one, but it's an option.
It might escape and it might kill you. They're clearly dangerous. Look what it did to Thaddeus.
Yeah. Alright. So with that was like a 6-second period, so I'm just gonna stop my turn. I'm not gonna do a movement or anything. Just gonna stay here.
All right, Lashil.
Wait, where's the sleeping one? I don't see it.
You see it now?
Yeah, I do. Can I dash over to it and kill it?
You can dash. I don't know if you have range to attack it in the same time. Let's see. No, you wouldn't be able to attack if you dash.
Oh. Can I... Hold on. No, I don't have any javelins left. Okay, then I'm just going to let everyone know that my vote is to kill it and wait to see what they decide.
Thaddeus.
Kill the damn thing. And I'm going to shoot it. Well, no. I'm going to say I think we should all get around it and strike it exactly at the same time.
You guys go ahead. I'm not gonna hurt the defenseless animal.
not really defenseless.
It's fucking
Almost
sleeping.
Yeah, but if it wakes up, it's gonna come right at us. Who's with me? I'm gonna start moving that way.
We're still in combat, so go ahead and do your
Not
movement.
too far. I'm not gonna move too far.
Renus,
Kind of close. Renus disconnected.
oh, probably means you fucked up my shit. Hobble.
Oh, no, I hope it's not like the same as that. Or one thing.
Yeah,
Come back.
I do hope he comes back.
Yeah.
I will, and I'll say to the group, I'm with you, Thaddeus. I didn't come this far just to get killed by a monkey. And I will ready a firebolt to shoot at this thing whenever someone attacks it first. I'm going to wait for someone else to hit it, and then I'll shoot it.
Oh, is that what we have to do if we want to attack at the same time?
Declare that you're going to
No.
attack at the same. You know.
So then I did.
just
I'm
don't
good.
I don't want to wake it up from here. Like, I want to wait for people
Yeah,
to
yeah.
found it.
Yeah.
No, I just want to make sure I was covered because I said the idea, but
Oh yeah. You know, Hobble says his ready to action is triggered when Thaddeus attacks, and Elvis is triggered by Hobble attacking, and it's a chain reaction of it's a circle jerk of attacks, basically.
I'm not attacking anything.
All right.
Elvis and Peter.
Lachille.
Oh, I'm actually having second thoughts. It is asleep. I kind of feel bad.
Oh my god.
How would Lachille feel?
Be asleep.
Lucia would not feel that way, but I do as a person. But no, I'm totally gonna hit it. Okay, so I'll just. Move this.
If it makes you feel better, it's going to be awake real soon.
All right. Are you moving all the way up to it so you can slash its throat?
Yes.
Between your
that
two
sounds
turns, you
good.
would have had the movement to do it.
Okay.
All right. I'm not sure what Renus is doing, so if you guys would like to do your trio of attacks, feel free. Starting
You
with
gonna move on to it,
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus?
Do you need to be closer, Hobble, or are you good?
I'm good from here. I'm just going to shoot
Okay.
it.
All right. Damn. I wish Renus was back. I'm gonna shoot it with my crossbow. Fuck. What is up with us today, man? These are the shittiest rolls.
You have one bolt left.
Well, I'm going to firebolt it.
Oh, I never added bolts. I continuously have one, I guess.
You used 6 last game, so
Did I? Okay.
you've used 7 now.
I think I start with 20.
Hey, to be fair, the spell doesn't end unless the sleeper takes damage. So if we all fucking miss because we're terrible,
True.
it'll never wake up.
True. We get to try again. Good thinking.
Well, you guys also have disadvantage because he's prone. Fun fact.
We have disadvantage because he's prone?
Ranged attacks
Keep going.
against prone targets are disadvantaged.
Okay.
But then he's unconscious, so I think it actually evens out. Scratch that. Alright. Lachille. You have advantage, actually.
Fun. So I want to rip its throat out. Hopefully.
I encourage it. Advantage.
Well.
I think you get to roll 2 more times. Right? Don't you have 2 claw attacks or just 1?
Well, it's an auto crit anyways, because of it being unconscious. So, go ahead and we'll say those are the 2 damage rolls. So 4, the first one's 13 damage there, and if you have an extra attack, you can do that. Although he is quite conscious now.
I don't think I have an extra attack, so.
Yeah, because
You'd be dual wielding, basically.
Okay, then yeah, sure.
Well, I'll set you up a second claw for like offhand, or it doesn't apply at the certain things. But for now, I'll do basic math. Still have an advantage, so go ahead and roll that again.
Dual wielding makes sense if your weapons are your claws.
Uh-oh. Could have waited.
If this is how I die, I'm gonna be so upset.
Does not hit. Okay, so I mean, it's not your fault. It's Thaddeus and Hobble's fault, really.
Yeah, everyone.
So as the two of them miss, you just go clawing in to this ape. You rip a pretty hefty swath out of its throat, but it's somehow still alive. And it's actually next. So seeing you just raking into it, it sort of piddles itself away, picks itself back up, and attempts to claw into you.
Play the song.
First one misses, second one is definitely hitting. That's going to knock you unconscious. As you're knocked unconscious, however, with fire and bolts being hurled at it still, it begins to take off.
Opportunity attack.
She's unconscious.
Oh, then that doesn't count. It just knocked you the fuck out and ran.
Arenas is going to probably dash over to her. And it goes to Hobble.
I'm gonna firebolt it before it gets out of range.
That'll hit. So as it's running away, you throw out another firebolt that catches him in the back of his fur, igniting with fire. Sort of quickly pats it out and keeps going. It's limping and trudging along at this point, but it is alive.
I'm gonna chase after it.
Elvie.
Ignite.
I'm going to go dash over next to Renas and make sure Lishill's okay. And, did he heal her, or should I do like a?
He hasn't healed her
medicine
yet.
check?
He had to dash.
I since I have like dash as like a bonus action, can I use my action to do a medicine check?
Sure can.
A 6.
Fortunately, you are unable to stabilize her. As much as you try to cover up the wounds, many of them have been reopened from previously. This creature just raking and clawing, having undone a lot of the work you and Renas had previously done. And Lashil, I need a death saving throw.
Sorry, did you say something to me? I was cleaning my glasses.
You need a death saving throw.
Can I pretend like I didn't hear that again?
Death
You
save.
can blame Elvie.
What? I didn't do shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the point.
Rude.
Alright, that is a success. Spoiler alert. I don't know if those are being whispered to me or not.
How come I go before Lishill?
No, it's
Hey, yeah, that's a
That's-
good question. Why
that
is
is-
he going before me?
That is a good question. However, she would have failed, and then you would have ran over, and still sucked.
She didn't fail.
Passed. You know. Thaddeus.
alright. I'm gonna run over to Lachelle and I'm gonna try to do the same. I'm gonna kind of get beside Elvie. Let me give it a try, man.
I'm gonna kind of lift my hands up and watch.
And that's all it takes.
Alright.
Ain't the prettiest, but it works.
That'll stabilize. This creature is going to keep running. Hobble, you'll still have range, whatever you're doing, probably.
Yeah, I'll run up. Am I on higher ground than the rest of the group right now?
Yeah, ever so slightly, but yeah.
All right, I'll take one final shot at this thing. Seeing my firebolt miss, I'll walk down to stand beside Lasheel and the rest of the group and say, I hope that doesn't come back to bite us later.
So am I conscious or just not actively dying?
I'm just
You're
not
not-
actively dying.
Yeah.
That firebolt misses, unfortunately. So as you're running down the slope there, the creature's going insanely fast. It's dashing away as fast as possible. It's starting to clamber and climb into the trees, swinging across the branches. It's moving so swiftly that you can't get a pinpointed target on it, and your shot goes stray. However, we are out of combat, and it would appear as though there are no other of these creatures in sight.
All right, cool. After making sure everybody's good, I'm gonna make my way over here to that, like, I don't know, pile of crap they were hanging around and see if I see anything in there. I'm looking for booty.
Sorry, just give me 1 second. Are you guys getting any music?
I had some, but not right now.
Not now.
Same. I don't have anything
Like,
right now.
almost all of the music is not working for me for some reason. It's quite weird. What the fuck? Alright, we'll go with that then, because it's working. So, you come over to the pile of junk, and it is literally just that at this point. They seem to have gathered a lot of the stuff over here, or at least this is where stuff seems to have landed, but it's all mixed and just more rubble than anything. And the more you sift through it, the more you realize that they seem to have taken most everything worth value. Not just here, but in some of the other areas. It seems like you could probably, if you searched hard enough and long enough, you could find some things. You'd have to find a few various items. But it would take quite a while to go through it all, a couple hours at least.
Can I go to each and every body and see if all the people are either dead or alive?
Yeah, as you go to each one, it's pretty readily apparent that they are dead. However, as you guys start to move around, these creatures now having fled, basically, you hear some footsteps, and eventually a voice kind of rings out from beneath the hull of this center part of the ship. You see a figure, very short, kind of chubby, slowly, carefully trudge his way out from underneath the hull. Oh, thank heavens, him. Yes, well, thank goodness you're here.
Oh, it's this guy.
He
Do you know
just,
him?
he just,
Isn't he a dick?
I don't think you guys talked to him. He was
Yeah, I was
just
about to
at
say.
the front of the line.
He wasn't off on Hubble's little journey. You didn't talk to him.
He wobbles over to you guys. I thought for sure those little devils of creatures were going to eat me. I'm so happy to see that it is not the case.
I vote we kill him.
You're unconscious. You can't talk.
Oh yeah, true. I'm gonna make my way back. I think we should kill him. No, I'm just kidding.
I vote unconsciously that we should kill him.
I'm gonna, as I come up, I'm gonna say, we couldn't have done it without your help, buddy.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, please. There's no need for compliments, not now at least.
Okay, as we're all talking to him, I'm gonna go and introduce myself and just kind of smile and walk up and say, "Hey, I'm Elvie O'Malley." And as I say that, I'm gonna get really close and hold out my hand for him to shake it.
His hands are sort of just resting on his pot belly. His clothes look surprisingly intact in comparison to everything else that's gone down here. Oh, well, he holds out a hand. I am Alakon.
I'm gonna attempt to pickpocket him with my other hand as I kind of sleight of hand take his or check his pocket.
Go ahead and roll it.
Right here.
Okay. As you're shaking his hand, the other one kind of quickly juts out to his waist where there's a small pouch. You lift it off of him without him even noticing whatsoever. Doesn't seem to shift at all. You pocket it to see what's in there at a later time. And he finishes the handshake. Yes, sir. Alakon's the name. Alakon. No, then I suspect that you know how to get to the landing of the Kings? The Kingsport.
I'm not quite familiar. I've never been to Felheim before.
Oh, okay, he looks past you to the rest of the group. Do you folk know how to get to the Port of Kings?
Oh, Kingsport, you mean?
That's the one that I'm after.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn around and the most fucking dangerous, like, dense part of the jungle, I'm gonna point at that. Yeah, it's right through those trees right there. Go maybe a mile, can't miss it.
Oh, thank the heavens I have you then. And he kind of pulls himself into the center of all of you. Good. You can all lead me there and protect me, perhaps. That would be greatly appreciated. I am not able-bodied as you.
Yeah, what's in it for us?
Anybody able-bodied to me?
What's in it
Can
for
I
you?
be
What's that?
Can I be conscious?
Yeah, doesn't Venus have like a healing spell or something?
Let me see if he has any left.
He has some lay on hands left.
I have thoughts.
You have dreams right
I'm sure
now.
Venus would have healed you. He's been quite good at that. If he
I'll
hasn't.
be right back.
Let me check. Okay, he saved 1 point. Okay, so yeah, as this has all been talking, Renus has been knelt over you. At one point, you feel this warm, glowing energy flow through you, and you pop back to life as this glow about his hand slowly fades away. He kind of pulls it back, looking at himself and then at you. As you come to, you see not only Renus standing over you, having apparently healed you, but this chubby little man amidst the party, gawking about something.
Who's a chubby little man that's gawking about stuff?
He sort of jumps as you say this. Oh, you nearly half scared me to death. I am Alakon. You are my protector.
Excuse me?
Well, that is what we agreed upon, no? You think?
She was just unconscious there, buddy. So this is Alakon. He says that he's looking for Kingsport. He assumes that we're going to take him there.
I asked him what it was worth to him, and he still has yet to answer.
Oh, it is payment you're looking for. Is that it?
Well, I mean, we need to be compensated for risking our lives to save yours.
You see him while he's talking, considering he's fiddling with a ring about one of his fingers. Well, I suppose I could compensate you with some goods.
He sounds like the type of man that would wear a hat. Does he have a hat?
He does not have a hat.
Oh, damn. Never mind.
He appears to be a chubby little dwarf with a long, scraggly, kind of woven beard and the rest of his hair neatly tied back in a ponytail with a clasp around it. He's got a dagger on his side, but it looks kind of fancy. It doesn't look like it would be of any real purpose or any real use.
Alright, you kind of have the look of maybe a merchant or something about you. What kind of goods are you talking about?
I tell you this, I don't want to die. Not today. Not the next day or the day after that. I will give you, let me see here, and he kind of just looks about himself on his various adornments. He plucks off a piece of, what appears to be an emblem or something. You don't recognize it, but it appears to be made of gold. I give you this as down payment, and when we arrive back, I give you much more.
What is much more?
Well, that depends on how intact I get there, of course.
Hobbles gonna cut in at this point and say, your gold is nice, but money doesn't help us if we don't survive. Do you know your way through these woods?
Oh, heavens, no.
I take the emblem.
Ah, the deal is struck then. Come.
I have no idea. I don't know where it is. So. I already made that clear.
None of us know.
I don't know. Has anybody else been to Felheim before?
Nobody has.
Alice, you just died out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, okay. I said I have the emblem, so I just start walking in a direction.
Alarcon healed the shield, right?
Arenas did.
Oh, Arenas healed the shield. I'm gonna yell after the shield. Wait. Before we go, maybe we should sit and rest. Our clothes are still wet. We just had some trouble with the local fauna. I don't know if now is the time for action. Now might be the time to rest.
I agree, and I think we still have some terms to discuss. That shiny little bauble means nothing. We don't know what he plans to offer us when we take him back. Let's rest up. Let's have a chat, and then we can get going.
I'll sullenly walk back to the group.
Do I see the emblem in the shield's hand, and I can make out if I could do a history check or some type of thing to find out what emblem it is?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a history.
Just want to know what this guy's up to. 14.
You're not particularly familiar with it, but what small glimpse you saw before the shield stole it away, you could see it was a stylized compass, although it was a bit more specific than that. It had some kind of depiction on the inside. You know that the compass is most widely... Oh, sorry. Mistakes. Not a compass. A scale.
Scale.
Yes, it's a stylized scale. It appears to be inlaid in something a bit more ornate. You can't quite make out all of it. Or even if you do, you don't recognize it, but it seems that you would be a part of the Merchants Guild, or some sect of it.
Okay. So I know as a merchant, he definitely comes from wealth then?
Yeah, between how he's dressed, holds himself, and that emblem, you imagine so.
Alright, I kind of smile and be like, yes, you can stay with us as long as you like.
Renus cut some strips off the blimp before it went down. Perhaps we can use those to construct a shelter on this ship here. I think we should stay away from the shore, though. I don't like the shore.
What if those apes come back?
the ship will provide us with a height advantage. It'll give us a vantage point. We can see farther than
That's true.
established if we set up a tent on the shore.
Do I see anything beyond this map? Like, do I see any ridges that look pretty close or anything else?
Beyond
Like
the
a
map,
higher
beyond the
peak
map,
or
all that
anything?
you can see, at least going southwards, is this really vast expanse of forest and jungle. On either side, however, it seems on the right side, where you were kind of nestled in between when you awoke, is this very large, sheer cliff facing. It would be almost impossible to go that way. Off the other way, where Elvi came from, it's more of this long, rocky formation, quite dangerous. Goes on for some ways before eventually turning into another sort of drop on a cliff facing.
And I don't see any sign of a path or anything. Animal path, any kind of path.
Not that you can see, no.
Alright. Yeah. Let's get that well, I mean, is it gonna rain? Does it look like it's gonna rain?
It's quite sunny out.
Alright, let's just grab the tarps like you were saying, just in case. And we don't really need to set them up unless it's about to rain though.
Sure.
Good to have them though. I mean,
We
he
can
went
scout.
through the trouble.
We can collect the tarps. We can scavenge for food. Who knows how cold it gets at night? We might need We might need them as blankets. At the very least, we can burn them.
All good ideas. Let's get them and get them dried out. So I'll go over towards them to grab at least one of them.
I'm gonna start exploring the woods close to the ship and gather some wood for a fire.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything?
Just want to keep an eye on the surrounding area in case the monkeys come back.
Okay. Elvi?
Yeah, I'm just going to go and just sit somewhere and keep an eye out, but do the what's it called? Trance. As an elf, I only need 4 hours, so I think me and Renus would take shifts if we're doing a long rest or a short rest. Like we would take shifts.
Sure. No problem. So, Thaddeus, you go grab the sheets. Hobble, you're grabbing wood. The two of you start your trances. Alarcon starts to sift through the bodies and whatever other wreckage appears in this way. Every once in a while, you hear it. Ooh, ooh, looky here! And swiftly followed by him pocketing something and moving on to the next area.
Oh, something I did want to do. I don't know how long it takes to fold up tarps, but after that's done and I put them back over in this area somewhere, I want to make my way to this crate over here and see what's in that. The one I started by.
Bunch of random junk. If you guys want to salvage the stuff, like I said, it would take a couple hours to do, to go through everything.
I mean, would that still be part of our rest since it's not strenuous or no?
It would be strenuous.
Okay.
I could do it. Yeah. Like, are we resting? Sorry, are we
You
resting short rest or long rest?
I'm up for whatever.
What do you guys need?
I got one spell slot of first left.
We'll do a long rest then.
Couple.
Yeah, I need a long rest.
You guys might need a couple long rests to get full.
Yeah,
I don't know if getting
remember
full
we gotta
is going to
spend
be
hit
an
dice.
option, but we need more than one hit point.
Alright, so everyone go ahead and do their long rests.
Alright, so how is this working? Because we don't get full health on this, right?
Is it
apparently we do.
Is it still?
Whoa! Look at the fucking hit dice on that. Or you guys don't see that, do
We
you?
can't see it.
Hold on, I'm gonna screenshot that shit.
556 D0s.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Yeah, you saw that?
Well,
I mean, it was whispered to me, so yes.
Yeah. 556 out of 111,000, or no, 1111. But yeah, it only still got 3 spell slots. I'd like 500 of those as well.
Alright, so 2 questions. First, we're not supposed to full heal on a long rest, right?
No, which means the script is still broken. Woot woot.
Alright, so what are we supposed to do?
All right, let's ignore it for now. I'll fix the script shit later. Are you guys gonna do 1 rest or 2 rests? Because at this point it's kind of noon. By the time you guys finish this long rest, it's going to be nighttime.
Honestly,
Alright,
I'd
so why
rather
don't-
wait until night. Like, use the day to gather supplies and set up, like, a camp. And then rest through the night, and then head out in the morning.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we can still do 2 rests. 2 rests is 16 hours. You said it's what, noon?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if we do 2 rests and spend 2 hours scavenging, then that's 18 hours. So it'll be like 10 a.m. tomorrow we would get started, something like that, or 8 a.m. Seems like a good time.
It would be 6 if we started at noon, but you're really close.
Something like that. Tired.
Is that what we're doing?
that's what they want. But I'm also gonna grab my short bow that I dropped earlier. Just putting that out there.
Okay. So you guys spend the first couple hours sifting through loot and all that stuff. Someone got a pen or whatever? Whoever's taking group loot?
Who's doing group loot? Not everyone at once.
Yeah, I'll put it in the handout.
Yeah, the group notes.
Yeah, I got it.
So, altogether, after a few hours of sifting through things, you find 18 gold, 87 silver, 23 copper, 2 platinum. You find littered amongst the wreckage and floating in the water 4 spears, or these large ballista bolts that you could basically use as spears. You find half a barrel of gunpowder, as well as a combined, single pouch of 20 bullets. Find a light crossbow and 10 bolts, 2 short swords, $12 rations, 12 days worth of rations. 2 things of leather armor, although they appear very damaged, so it would basically be -1 leather armor. 2 medicine kits. You find Alakan. And finally, a single potion of healing.
I kind of want to grab Alakarn by the ankles and shake him and see what he found.
Oh, you don't want to do that. He's a nice guy.
Alright, it's in the note.
What did I get in the pouch that I picked off Alicon?
Good question.
You don't have to decide right now.
8 gold.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so you find all this loot after searching for a few hours. You then set up a makeshift sort of encampment, sleep it off for the better part of the day and early part of the next day. You wake up early morning, the sun's just rising, and you guys are good to go. How would you like to continue?
Does anyone have a compass? Explorer's pack. Here we go. What's in here?
Anybody got a magnet? I can make a compass.
So as you guys finish sifting through all the stuff and, your long rest, as you guys wake up the next morning, the ocean seems kind of serenely calm, even around the destruction left in the wake of the Nightingale's crash. The waves sort of very softly come over the remains, encroaching, well, at this point, now that it's morning, no longer encroaching, but slowly getting further and further back as it retreats into the ocean. Up ahead, again, as you look towards this area, you see that it's this very vast expanse of lush green forest and jungle that seem to intermingle, both very glistening and warm. So it's up to you guys how you would like to approach into this jungle.
So, is there even like a map of just like Kingsport, or is there like just no map whatsoever of Felheim?
None that you guys have.
Do we know roughly where Felheim is in relation to Valkia? Like, if we followed the path, do we know what direction the ship would have been heading in before it crashed?
Felheim is sort of southeast of Valkia.
Okay, and so can we assume that the ship was taking a straight path to Kingsport?
Mostly straight, yeah.
So we want to go southeast.
Before we head off as a group, I'm going to walk up to Hubble. I'm gonna go scout ahead, just to make sure no danger is in the way. I'm pretty good at stealth, so I can stay hidden within the trees and be sure nothing is gonna attack us as a group.
I can stay in communication with you if you keep within 120 feet of me.
I got it, little buddy. So I'm gonna be ahead by 100 to 120 feet of them.
Okay.
I would say every minute I will cast message, and because I don't think I can keep the spell going. So just every minute I'm gonna.
Every minute?
Right,
He's not gonna. I don't think he's messaging you every minute. He's just keeping it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, shut up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. So I guess every 5 minutes I would cast it and just point in where I know LV is and just say, like, hey, how's it going? You see anything?
Okay. Are you guys traveling? Slow, fast, normal? What kind of pace?
I'm stealthing, so probably slow.
I mean, if it's pretty rough terrain, I'd say we're keeping it pretty slow. Careful.
Yeah, we're
whatever's
unfamiliar with this place, and we already know that some things want to kill us. It's only
Yeah,
safe.
I think slow is fine, especially if LV is stealthing ahead of us.
And we don't want to lose the rich dwarf.
That's true. How's he doing? Is he carrying anything? Like, is he keeping pace with us, or is he obviously slowing us down?
I'll go say the latter.
Can I carry him if he's slowing us down? Can we just agree?
Also, I should say this now. If anyone is going to make a roll that's like really fucking important at any point, tell me before you roll.
Okay. I hope we would always do that, but okay.
Well, so the way important works, metagaming, is that
Oh no.
when you declare an action, or something, or an action is declared against you, I can use one of two rolls that I make in secret to tie and replace your roll with mine.
What?
So,
That's
but
fucking
I have to
nonsense.
I have to decide that before you roll. So if you're like, I'm gonna try to kill the big bad guy, and then you just roll before I can do anything, and you miss, then I can't replace your roll.
Noted.
Okay, so you guys are traveling at a slow pace, and in addition to that, it is rough, sort of, again, unfamiliar terrain. You have no idea where you're going, and sorry. So the longer you guys traverse through the forest, the larger and larger it seems to get. The overhanging bush, the coverage of trees blots out the sun for the most part. You get these stray glimpses of radiant light that pours through the overhanging leaves, just barely enough so that you can keep track of where it is and sort of maintain the vague direction of where you're going in. I need someone to, whoever is leading the way here, I need to make a survival check for me.
I guess that would be me scouting ahead.
Say either you or I would imagine Lasheel is leading our group.
Yeah, I was about to say I would probably be of the main group leaving, so.
Yeah, you and Elvie sounds good.
Oh, I need
can
one
go.
person to roll for me, so whoever that is.
You could do it. I think that would be the best decision.
You said survival, right?
I did indeed. Very good. So using the small glimpses of sunlight, you're able to more or less maintain where southeast should be. You guys don't get too terribly far given a whole day journey. You can't imagine that you cover really more than maybe 9 miles worth of terrain. And as you're moving through the forest, it's somewhat quiet. You hear the occasional rustling of bushes and the like, some stray animals, but beyond that, it is there's not much else going on. On a few occasions, you come to some areas where many of the trees are covered in what appears to be webbing. I assume that's more or less avoided, and you simply kind of move around it, continue moving as fast and carefully as you can. Eventually,
Like spider webbing?
yes, spider webbing.
Okay.
Sorry, can I do like a perception on like how big the spider would be, if that like makes sense? That would have made this web would have been like itty little spiders.
It's pretty large webbing that covers some pretty extensive parts of the forest. You can only imagine they're sizable.
Damn it. I was trying to be like, are they small? Like, I hope they're small.
Can I do like
spider equipment.
would I know enough about nature or about insects to do a nature check on the webbing to see if it's consistent with the sort of webs that Valkia spiders make? Like, are they normal spiders but just bigger, or are they totally different?
Take a survival check. Very good. You gather that they're similar, at least in composition, to the webs that you've seen from spiders in Valkia, and similar to, various web spells. Yet these are much larger than any natural webbing that you've seen in Valkia. So, well, it seems similar. You're not quite sure that it is a similar creature.
So would it be possible, like, is there like an end to it? Could we possibly go around it, or is it just like as far as we can see?
No, you can definitely go around it. It seems to be these large areas, perhaps 100, maybe 200 feet or so at a time, of these kind of just enclosed areas where the trees are especially thick and the webbing is all over the place. In fact, to move through it would be quite difficult. You see these sort of scattered out throughout the forest. Eventually, as you keep moving further and further through the forest after this long day of pushing through the dense thicket, you come to an opening in this very heavy foliage. You haven't really come upon one of these yet thus far. It's been nothing but thick, lush, green forest. But this is pretty wide. It's a pretty sizable area. In the center of it is this shallow alcove that consumes pretty much the center opening. And there's a number of trees around it that seem devoid of their larger trunks. In fact, it is the first time that sunlight has fully poured through. Although at this point, as day comes to an end, there's not much sunlight coming through. You see among these seemingly cut down trees, they're mostly hollowed out at this point, having long been eaten away by insects and the various things. So while the rest of the forest seems to wallow in darkness, at least here it's starting to be bathed in moonlight.
I'd like to take a perception check to see if I notice anything in the trees surrounding this little grove. Like if anything's watching us.
Go ahead and take perception. It's pretty good.
Nice.
You quickly survey the area, scanning the perimeter and the surrounding tree lines, and as far as you can tell, there's no signs of anyone watching. You don't see any of these creatures that you encountered on the beast lingering in the trees. You don't see any of this webbing. Weird repeating?
Yeah, I thought it was you the first time, but it's like every time you end something, it like loops like the last second or two of what you're saying.
Interesting.
It's not every time.
Yeah, it's not every time, it's just sometimes.
I think it happened like 2-3 times. I mean, it's not like that big of a deal, I don't think.
Weird.
I'm gonna ask the group, do we want to set up a fire? I personally don't have any issue seeing in the dark, but if we want some sort of light or if we want warmth, I can do that for us.
Well, that's a good question. What's the temperature right now?
It's still decently warm, but the closer it's gotten to night, the more it's cooled down significantly. You imagine, based on your previous night of sleeping, that after as the sun fully goes down, it'll get fairly chilly.
Does this look like a safe place to stop for the night? You think
Nothing
we're
looks
all
like
right?
a safe place here. I am going to advise against the fire because, fire leads to smoke and smoke leads to curious creatures. So,
And the light as well.
I think we'll be okay as long as we set up like a rotation to have someone keeping watch.
Alright, yeah, I agree. No lights. Doesn't sound like we need the heat. So yeah. I'll take first watch with somebody else. Couple hours at least.
If I please, if this is where we're staying, I do not seem to have a bedroll. Does anyone else that I could have, perhaps?
I give him mine.
Oh, you are a treasure.
Yeah. I don't need it anyways. But yeah, Thaddeus, I'm an elf. I don't sleep, so you don't have to stay up to keep watch. I can, do it myself.
Alright, well, if you need anything, wake me up. I'll be likely sleeping.
I'm gonna very like awkwardly like nod, but like it's like kind of like when a kid's being like, it's not that he doesn't like the person, but it's just kind of like an awkward like okay, like I don't want to talk to you, but I guess I have to talk to you type situation. It's like, all right.
Okay. Got it.
Half elves don't have trance, do they?
Unfortunately not.
But keep in mind that trance doesn't mean you're fully conscious. You won't be actively perceptive of everything around you.
Right, but Renus and I both have it, so I think we talked about like I would do like we would like take turns, like he would be doing his trance as I'm kind of looking around, and then the other way around.
All right.
Nice. So the rest of us get 8 hours.
Indeed. So Renus says he'll take first watch, so that he can do his, sword play or whatever.
Okay, I'll go into trance.
All right, I'll unroll my bedroll and go to sleep.
It's quite a condensed day as you're trying to sleep. Alakon, he has some snoring issues, it seems. He's quite loud. And it's somehow simultaneously very baby-like in the way he sleeps, all curled up in a little ball.
I'd like to move my bag further away from him.
Fair. I assume everyone does. Whether or not he knows it, everyone slowly makes their way away.
I was never near him to begin with.
Renus takes the first watch. When he's done, he leaves it off to you, Elvie.
Okay. So I'm going to just kind of explore the area and be like aware of my surroundings.
Sure. And in the center of this sort of dugout alcove, well, it's not dugout, it's more natural, there's also a high ridge. Easily stay on that as well. Go ahead and give me a perception.
13. Oh, I have. Oh wait, is the keen senses already applied to this? Probably that's what that +1 would be. I'm guessing, because it says you have proficiency in the perception skill, so that would already be checked. I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's +2.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. But wait, how can your perception be lower than your passive perception? So I'm just sitting around not really looking. I see better than if I am, or
They're for two different things. It's hard to explain. I'll have to go into it later.
Okay. All right, that's cool.
So, you're kind of just sitting there looking around. Everyone else is sleeping. You're doing your best to blot out Alakon and his fucking noise. As you're sitting there looking around, you don't hear any movement, you don't see anything. And then all of a sudden, a series of arrows comes jutting out of the forest all around you guys. Not from one area in particular. It seems to come from all over the place. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Are we awake?
You are not awake.
I'm awake.
Well, wake us up.
No, don't tell me what to do. Okay. Ah, damn it.
Oh no, who's playing Renus?
Me.
Oh, I'll get him.
Thanks.
You did best.
If it wants to load. Haven't opened a character sheet all night.
How long does it take to load? He's got like 3 attacks.
Oh, that's cool.
hit long rest for the guy. Poor Renus.
Dude, this music situation's killing me.
I'm hearing stuff.
Like, none of my battle music is playing for me.
I don't hear anything either.
I'm gonna try to restart. Give me a second. Can't handle, man. There we go.
It worked fine for so long, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Seems to be working now, though.
I don't hear anything.
Well, it sucks to suck. Might have to restart too. I don't know. I just refreshed my screen and it came on.
Oh, there it is.
I blame Phil.
Oh, my music was just too low. Sweet.
Yeah, it was real low at the beginning.
Oh, my turn order disappeared.
Nice. Oh, that was Renus. Damn it.
All of us turn order.
Yeah.
Everyone's disappeared?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
on
but
the
I
other map.
refreshed the
Renus.
page.
Alright, go ahead and manually change yours to whatever you rolled. Oof.
Wow, you hate us.
Apparently, yeah, and they're getting his prize round because you didn't spot him.
God damn.
We did.
Session 2.
I will change yours to 10.
Hubble. John,
What?
can you change your turn order to 10?
Oh, I keep trying to.
Just click. There you go.
Yeah, I did it. I did that before and it reset.
Okay, so, as you're standing there in the center ledge, keeping an eye out as best you can for anything approaching, you don't spot it until it's too late, as a multitude of shots comes raining down first towards you, LV. What's your AC? 14?
Yeah.
I need 2 con saving throws from you.
8 and 18.
Okay, so as this first arrow hits you, it kind of just skids past one of your arm, slicing through the flesh just a little bit deeper. You instantly feel this surge of not pain, but almost numbing substance begin to flow through your veins. It's slow moving, but very obviously cascading, starting at your arm and moving further and further out. It seems to slow your movement. Lasheel, you're asleep. Olivia, I assume you're screaming at everyone to wake the fuck up, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, shit.
Wake the fuck up.
I'm gonna say, incoming. Everybody take cover. Really loud though. can't do it now because people are sleeping.
Fuck them. All right. So everyone is woken up by this. Lucille, you're the first to get up, perhaps a little bit angry at this fucker waking you up.
Yeah, I'm actually quite upset at being woken up. It's the middle of the night. So I'm going to rage, but can I see anyone?
Yes, so as you stand up, raging, angry, first at Elvie, you see these multitudes of arrows just pouring in from the surrounding forest. That was weird. From where you are, you can almost immediately make out two figures, short in stature, one just above, sort of on top of you on this ridge, hunched over one of the broken trees, and just below him, one hanging out inside one of these still full trees. So it's half your movement to stand up since you were prone, but you still have another, however much half is. I think you're 35, right?
Yeah, I am. How, that ledge right there, how tall is that? Like, would I need to, is that like
It's
a
about-
significant climb?
It's about 4 feet high.
Okay.
Pretty easily cleared. So you would just about clear it with your 17.5 movement.
Okay, so I'll move to there and just get ready to kill little thing that's there. Yep, those were words.
Okay, as you're come raging and running to it with your blood frenzying anger, the thing wants nothing to do with you really and starts unloading arrows at you while also moving back.
How many arrows is it shooting at the shield?
Just one.
Oh,
sorry, 2. I lied.
The first one, I am seeing the situation starting to play out. I'm reminded of a dream I had last night, where a angry cat lady was getting shot at by a mysterious robed figure. It's interesting now. The robed figure shot an arrow and it missed. Cat
Yes.
was unharmed.
Duly noted. The first arrow goes, or it's a plethora of arrows. As they come to you, you start ducking and dodging out of the way as they go all over the place. And whether or not this one hits. That's gonna hit. It'll only do 2 damage to you, but I need a Constitution saving throw. Which passes. The arrow that hits you barely nicks you, ducking, dodging out of the way as you come bounding over to the creature. One of them kind of just tags you in the shoulder, no more than a small scrape to you. And this other little bugger is, I got plenty of other buggers. One more going into Elvie. I need a con saving throw, Elvie.
I'll fall unconscious after that.
Give me a con saving throw anyways.
A 6.
Okay. 2 others going randomly, 1 into hobble. Oops, that's the first one then, misses. What's your AC, now that you don't have mage armor?
13.
Both of those miss. Last volley going into Thaddeus.
Disadvantage. Yeah.
Also missing. All right.
That's-
So as you're all standing there, arrows flying all over the place, Elvi, you get hit by one more straight in the shoulder. It knocks you out immediately, but as you're slowly feeling yourself fall into unconsciousness, the poison begins to seep through you, and your body goes completely rigid. You're not dead, but you are paralyzed and poisoned.
Do I get to say anything before this happens?
Negative. As you're brought to 0, you do get knocked unconscious almost as soon as that hits you. Thaddeus.
All right. I am. How does it cost me extra movement to crawl?
It's half speed.
Half speed. Okay. So if I'm not technically getting up, do I still lose half my movement?
No. If you're staying prone,
Okay.
you're staying prone.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So I'm gonna go 15 feet this way, try to get some cover, and I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna pull out my tiny mirror and look into it until I see that reflected over me is basically the image behind me, so that it looks like I'm turning invisible.
Okay. Hobble.
What do I see from where I am right now? Do I just see this guy, or can I see anyone else?
So, as you wake up, you're still laying on the ground. You see just arrows coming from all directions. At least they were. The ones particularly going towards you, though, you saw come from the left. You can't quite make out the figure fully, but you seem to gather the arrows are coming from up above on the left, from a pretty high place. And of course, you do see the one in front of the shield that she's going after.
Do I know? Did I see exactly where the arrow from the left was coming from? Like, was it from a particular tree, or do I just know the general direction?
Yeah, you kind of know the general direction. You can tell they're still seemingly coming down at you. You can kind of trace it back to the top of one of these trees directly left. But it's hard to pinpoint the figure itself.
But I know it was that particular tree.
Indeed.
I will cast Fog Cloud on that tree.
You should be able to just drag it out.
Oh, yeah, I can.
Oh, it's already sized. No worries.
Alright, I'm going to center it on that tree. And then I am going to... I'm going to crawl from... I'm going to get up. No, I'm going to crawl. From my bedroll over to this stump and try to hide behind it so that anything coming from below me I would be in cover against. And that will be my turn.
Alright, Elvi.
I am aware that Elvi has been struck by arrows and is unconscious. It reminds me of another dream I had where my red-headed rogue friend on the brink of death managed to miraculously revive himself. It was very strange. I didn't believe the dream at first, but being in this situation, I know it to be true.
What?
I'm giving you a 20 on your saving throw.
Oh, sweet, I get one. Thanks, PP.
Did you give him the nat?
Yeah.
All right.
So I have no more. I have no more portents left.
Okay. So you are. Let me see here. Okay, so you regain consciousness all of a sudden. Just as everything is fading to black, your vision returns. However, as it does, your body is still unable to move. You are still very much both paralyzed and poisoned.
Wow, so I actually have to watch this shit go down.
Your head doesn't even move, you just have your eyes about you. And it goes to Renus, unless you have something you can do with just your mouth. Actually, no, you can't even do that. Yeah, just your eyes. It's not a good situation for you.
Yeah, I think just gonna chill here.
I don't know that Renus has anything.
Should have like lay on hands if you wanted that.
That does. That's just health, though. That won't help him out of paralysis.
It can be poison.
Can it?
You could spend 5 points to remove a condition.
What?
That's awesome.
But would he know is the bigger question. Don't believe he would.
This isn't magic, right? Whatever poisoned me.
No, it seems to have come from the arrows. Just going off of how he's played Renus so far, I'm guessing he's going to get in front of someone and shield them as best as possible. Probably you, since you're closest, go into defensive stance and all that jazz. And he will, I think he has a bonus action actually. Yeah, he'll shield the faith. Okay, the shield.
Okay. So I'm gonna run up to the friendly friend at the tree trunk. Is that like high up, or is this again like realistically low?
It's
Why'd I get this
pretty
shot?
realistically low.
So I could possibly hit the person with my great axe.
Oh, most definitely. Okay, so you come running up as this figure is just loosing arrow after arrow into you. You go cleaving in with the great axe. You gouge pretty deep into his side. Blood begins flowing all over the place. He tries to pull himself off, and he's still up, but he's quite injured. And there's an extra 2 damage on that from rage, so.
I was really hoping I'd knock him off the thing.
He's still surprisingly up. It's their turn. I don't think you have anything else. He drops his bow, pulls out a lone spear, and tries to stab away with you with that. Oops, shouldn't be disadvantage. Which means that's a crit, actually.
Oh, play the song.
What's that?
You play the song. The Nat 20 song.
Don't play the song for bad guys.
Yeah, not for bad guys. So that becomes an 8, so it's gonna be 8 damage down to 4 for you. And I need a con saving throw. Pass with flying colors, so as he stabs into you for some decent damage. 4 for you, it's decent at least. You feel this surge of whatever is coated on the tip try to enter your body. You simply shake it off, given your rage, and continue on. He's going to get the fuck out. And you don't get an opportunity attack.
I really hate when things run away from me.
Indeed. So right after he stabs you, he kind of ducks low, using this momentary advantage to slip out and finagle his way from you. The other guy's in a fog cloud over here. Got one going into... Take a perception. And one going into Renus. Both of those missing. And it goes to Thaddeus.
Alright, I'm gonna stay behind my little fake shelter here and pull out my little limpy oaken wand and point it at this dude south of me here. And I guess do that 2 more times.
Okay, so from behind your illusory shelter, you just start shooting off these bolts of force damage. The missiles quickly zap towards him, slamming him back, doing 7 damage. So very much up, and it goes to Hobble.
This guy here was the one that Lucio was attacking, right?
Yes, the one running away.
Him running, do I get the sense that he's coming back?
He's took a... at this point, no, you're not really sure. He's just kind of running in that direction. You see him sort of looping around the tree there.
Alright, I'll shoot a firebolt at him.
That will not hit.
Alright, I'm going to stay on my belly and press myself up against this little outcropping here, and with the tree trunk between myself and whatever's below me, to still try to keep cover from all sides, or from, I guess, above and below me. North and south.
Elvie, you're still unfortunately paralyzed.
Do I take like a con save, or how do I get out of this?
You do not. You are simply paralyzed at the moment.
Okay.
And in fact, no, yeah, you're just paralyzed.
Do I do that? I don't know. Next.
Yeah. Renus is going to blessing Lashiel, Hobble, and Thaddeus.
What does the bless modifier in our character sheet do?
I think it just
check it.
Rolls it
yeah, I
for
think
you.
it rolls it, just adds it. So all 3 of you can check that. And it goes to Lashiel. Who I assume is going to run down and just decimate this fucker.
Well, I can't get to him.
Why not?
I can?
I mean, he only ran 30 away and you have 35.
That's right. I was going down for some reason. I got distracted. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so this little, now that you're up close, this little green creature goes running away from you, spear still in hand. You outrun him quite easily. You come up behind him with the great axe and just deliver the killing blow straight into his back. You can hear the cracking of his spine as he just goes completely limp from the blow. He's super dead.
I'm very happy with that.
And with that, it goes back to them. Thaddeus getting shot at.
How does he see me?
Well, if you see my perception check I took up there.
I don't see it, but I believe you.
I mean, it's up there.
Oh, I see it.
Rolled a 20.
That'll work.
He spent his turn looking through it, trying to find you and realizing it was fake. Shot. Oh my god. I think that knocks you out. What the fuck?
I'm done.
Where?
Wait, he has disadvantage because I'm still prone.
Oh, you did say you were prone. You're right.
Yeah.
So that's the first one. Basically hits for 7. Take a con save. And the second one.
And I had exactly 13.
Yeah. Same as take another con for me, actually.
Now I crit on something.
Not the same as LV. In fact, you were just pincushioned by arrows as you're hiding safely behind your illusory terrain. This sudden flurry of shots comes out at you, pincushioning you, almost nailing you to the wall. You simply slump back down. You are unconscious and bleeding out.
Except for I'm not. As I get hit and start to go down, I start to feel like myself fading away, and I get like this rush of energy, and I just come back up. Still pretty hurt, but not unconscious.
Okay.
And I believe it's my turn.
I believe I have more shots. It's not at you.
From that dude?
No.
Other people,
Elsewhere.
I was like saying, damn.
Going into Arenas. Can't roll that against Thaddeus. Now it's your turn.
What's that? Oh, well then.
I know, right? LV and Thaddeus, I'm just fucking demolishing you guys. Shit, even the shield I rolled hot against. Just gonna go for Hobble next.
Oh, Hobble's so cute.
TPK, leave Arenas alive. Perks of disconnecting. Alright, Thad.
Alright, yeah, so since that dude wants to try to fuck me up, I'm pulling out my shaft again.
Dude, roll better.
What the hell, man? That is ridiculous.
That was
Shit,
quite
this is why
horrendous.
you're dying.
This thing's useless. I'm about to throw it on the ground.
Could you
It
have,
shoots off these like puttery little like fireballs that
Just rolled trip
don't really
ones.
look like shit. They're just like farting through the fucking air. They suck.
Yeah, you're still holding on for dear life, but you heft up your supposed magical wand. You let off a number of shots that are quite piddly. They hit this creature. You can only see the outline of him. The shots seem to navigate towards him effortlessly, but he seems relatively unaffected, all things considered.
Piece of shit. And then I'm gonna stay prone and move my 15 feet like around the corner here.
All
Try
right.
to get some cover from the other ones.
It is pretty much a
Oh,
Roman
shit, I
candle.
didn't even see that dude. Oh.
Yes, you come crawling around the corner. As you turn your head up, you see yet another one weaving his way around this stump. And it goes to Hobble.
Alright. With this guy by the shield dead, I am going to spend half my movement to get to my feet. I'm going to tell Renus, follow me. And I'm going to dash to the stump here. And that is my turn.
Okay. Elvie. Never mind. Renus. Who's me? I feel bad about my rolls. Wait, did you do anything else except for run over there, Hobble? Sorry.
I told Renus to follow me, but no actual action. I dashed.
Oh, okay. Alright, well he most definitely does follow, still keeping up his guard. With Bless still up, he simply, I think he's gonna go defensive. Probably calls over, seeing Alarcon like huddled up in the dirt, he's like just crawled over into this crevice on the side. He's probably going to call him over as well. And it goes to the shield.
Yeah, I'm just gonna dash to where I know the other one was.
Should go like a little bit further. There we are. Alright, so
Okay,
you just you heft your axe out of the back of this little creature, kicking him off. You just turn around and go into a full sprint. The closer you get, the more clear this other guy becomes. He's nestled up in the tree, however. He's a solid 10 feet off the ground, just leaning, sort of crouched up on one of the branches. Seeing you run over with whatever anger you seem to have, he's shooting at you. Both of which hit, I believe, for 3 and 3, so 6 damage and 2 con saves. I'm passing both. You're pincushioned by 2 more arrows. You quickly just snap them off, pulling them out and breaking them. Other shots. Got 1 more going. Oh, I might have a bunch going for Thaddeus. Alright, here's the first 2 in the Thad.
Alright, that's it.
Give me a con save. Actually, it doesn't matter. But yeah, passed it
I'm
anyways.
dead.
Um,
Oh, it does, okay.
Alright, you are unconscious. This other one going for... I don't know who we can see, actually. I guess he can only really see the shield, probably. So these are going at you. Neither of those hit.
Yay.
And it goes to Thad. Death saving throw. Whew, that's a pass.
Yeah.
Hobble.
I saw where that shot at the shield came from, because I think I have partial vision of this guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to move out from behind the stump. And I'm going to cast Sleep on this guy.
Oof. Yeah, he's very asleep.
That's my turn.
Okay, so you come running out from behind the stump. As you get to clear and clear, you let off this spell. This very brief kind of purplish hued smoke emerges around him, almost gas-like, and he just falls to the floor on one side. And it goes, skipping Elvie, unfortunately. I'm sorry. It goes to Renus, who is going to move up in front of the ever so helpless Alakon. Oh yeah! Oh wow! I didn't even notice that. Blesses the. You would have had a 6. Wow.
Yeah, I was just actually looking at that, and then I seen that he typed
I didn't
that.
think about that. That's true.
Yeah.
And you rolled max on the bless too. No kidding. All right. He's gonna move up behind or in front of the ever so helpless Alakon, and he's going to shoot some dags. Throw a dag rather. Which just it goes past, not doing a whole lot. And then it goes to the shield.
So, can I try to like pull this fucker out of the tree?
I mean, he's 10 feet up.
Can I jump and try to pull him out of the tree?
She is a cat person.
Sure. Give me
Just don't
an
get
give me an
stuck in the
athletics. Quite solid. All right, you come running over. You jump up. You're pretty high strength, so I think your vertical jump is fairly decent. I think it's equal to your modifier. So whatever that is, probably +2 or +3. You jump up 2-3 feet with your arm's length. You grab hold of his leg and you pull him straight down. Are you maintaining the grapple or just letting him fall?
Well, so I kind of just want to sling him down to the ground.
Okay.
Like if I was eating the earth with him.
Okay, so you grab hold of his foot, and as you're descending, you just yank him down. He immediately loses his footing, and he's going to fall prone. And then it goes to them. That would have been your action. So unless you have a bonus action. Yeah, I guess he would technically take D6 falling damage. So if you're gonna go ahead and roll that, roll D6. Takes 3 bludgeoning as he hits the floor. Goes to them. He's going to attempt to spear you. Same as before, as he hits the ground, he's already kind of lost the bow on the way down. He drops it. Picking himself up off the ground, he grabs hold of his spear and he's going to attempt to stab at you with it. Don't think either of those hits, and so he takes off.
Do I get an opportunity?
You do not.
Oh.
Wait, he went from prone to booking it after an attack? Doesn't he only get half movement?
That's why he only made it 15 away.
Oh.
He doesn't get too far with this. He tries to stab at you, and seeing you just easily swat away the spear, he sort of just starts limping and half running away, trying to pick up pace. Death saving throw from Thad. Oh, wait, I have other little creatures, but go ahead and do that while I start shooting. Okay, another success. That's 2. Alright, first round of shots here going at Hobble. Actually, shit, all 4 of these are going at Hobble, I think. Yeah, I got
There's
it.
still 2 guys left. Isn't one of them asleep?
Oh, you did put that guy asleep. I don't know how to read my own condition icons. 1 guy shooting at you. Good call, mate. What's your AC? Because you don't have mage armor, right?
13, but I'm gonna cast shield.
Okay. So as the shots come flying in from the other direction, you quickly pull up the shimmer of this shield. The shots just start to bounce and ping off. And it goes to you.
Well, shit.
Also, as you come rounding the corner, you definitely see Thaddeus keeled over, no longer moving.
I'm trying to think of what Hobble would do. Yeah, Hobble would book it back to the group.
I'm dashing again.
Yeah, I'll dash.
Alright. Goes to Renus, who's going to move up and try to finish this guy off. Hitting for 10, you watch as he moves up, carves a pretty big piece out of this creature, but he does not go down. Goes to the shield, and you're no longer raging, I don't think. Oh no, you pulled him down. You're good. I lied.
Okay. So I just want to run up and like jauntily like golf swing with the great axe and see if I can launch the little green man like up into the air.
Go ahead.
Ooh!
Damn.
Alright, yeah, I would say so. So you come running up behind him as he's quite injured. He's like knelt over. You sort of twirl your great axe around so that it's the flat of the blade, and you just, whew, I don't know if you've seen Happy Gilmore, but you do one of those deals. The running shot.
I am very happy about this. I still have movement left, right?
Sorry. So, yeah, you come running over and you just whack this guy. He definitely slams into the trunk just behind him and flies a fair bit over it. He is mush. Maybe not mush, but he's mangled and broken, and it's terrible.
So I want to start moving back towards. Because there were people on the other side? I can't remember.
Not that
I'm just going to start
you've
moving
seen,
back
but,
toward the center.
Alright. Hubble, are you up on that mound, or are you still on the inside there?
I would have gotten up on the mound to be closer to Renus.
Okay. In that case, these shots are at you. Neither of them hitting. Thaddeus, can he do it?
I can only hope.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah. I earned that shit.
22, nice.
All right.
All right.
I come back alive. Do I get to do anything this round, or?
No, I think it's your whole turn for the death saving throw, but you are up
Okay.
and conscious with health.
All right. I'm not going to make any movement at all. I want people to think I'm still dead.
Okay, yeah, so you're slumped over, your back slouched against the side of this rock, your eyes just open. For some reason, you just breathe in full life out of nowhere. Nice, hobble.
I'm gonna shoot a firebolt.
Fitting music for what just happened.
I'm gonna shoot
Right.
a firebolt back at where the arrow came from.
Okay. I don't think you can see it, so it'd be disadvantage, but that'll hit nonetheless. Okay, so you let off a shot just in the direction the arrow came from. The fire bursts through the air, and as it does, it kind of illuminates everything on the way. By some stroke of luck, you see it, the outline of this figure emerge as it just plows into him for 6 damage.
Yes. And then I'm gonna move down this little hill and post it behind this tree, this stump.
All right. Arenas. I guess he's gonna probably just come down and be a man. Lashil. Actually, I imagine that with everyone seemingly down from his angle, he's actually going to dash up to LV.
So, seeing where Hobble's fireball went, like that didn't kill the guy, right? Or is he dead, or is he still up?
You only saw like a brief glimmer of him after the fire dissipated, but he's still standing.
Okay, then I'm running that way.
Okay, and he's actually shooting at Renas, who is on top of the hill. Alright, Thaddeus.
Alright, I don't know if I should even fucking move at this point. Let me see if there's anything I can... Oh, damn, the music cut out. Do I know if this guy has been hit before? It's like right in front of me, basically.
Yeah, your eyes are, even though you're not moving, your eyes are open, and you would have definitely saw that bolt of fire hit him. There's also a Lashil in front of you, running straight towards him.
That's true. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna hold an action, and if he tries to attack the shill, then I'm gonna attack him.
Okay. Hobble.
I'm gonna move out from behind the stump, and do I have a better... Can I get a better look at this guy? Can I attack without disadvantage?
I don't believe he's in your view yet, so negative.
I'll just shoot another firebolt to where I know the arrow came from.
Okay. That would be a 1. You try to let off the shot kind of in the same area, and as it goes soaring down, you don't catch even a glimpse of him. The fire sort of piddles out about halfway there.
I swear this never happens.
Take an insight real quick with the Renus. Nope, he's dumb. Okay, well this is he's the only one that it seems to have affected, and he's not here. But you guys would have Hobble, you would have seen this, in Elvi, even though you're unconscious, your eyes sort of rolling back, you see Renus standing above you. And as he gets shot by the arrow, you see him sort of recoil, and his movements almost start to become sluggish. As he kind of maintains focus on you, he kneels down by you, trying to see what's happening. You can see your eyes moving, but the rest of your body unable to do so. He's apparently too dumb to figure it out, though, so he's going to lay on hands you for that 5, but it's only going to be a half chance here. Okay, comes down using lay of hands. This energy flows through you, and while you're still poisoned, you feel movement begin to come back to your limbs. You're no longer paralyzed. With that, it goes to Lachille.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run up and try to golf swing again, because that was fun.
Okay, you come running up, and you definitely hit with it. Yet again, you bring out the flat of your axe, kind of smacks from the side. This time it's not with as much force, though. He kind of dodges out of the way as best he can at the last second. You only hit him with a partial end the axe. Deals 4 damage to him since you're no longer raging. And it goes to him. He's going to try and get the fuck out. He's not prone. He's going to disengage and dash.
I don't get why they keep running away from me.
Well, nothing to do with you guys. So he runs about 60 feet out. Thaddeus.
Still in combat?
This figure seems to be retreating, so unless someone's going after him, negative.
What's up with that dude? That guy.
He's asleep. So, actually, shit. It's only lasts for a minute. It's been quite a few rounds.
I don't think it's been 10 rounds.
10.
Not 10, but that means there's, 30 seconds left?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I want to run after the guy, just for the record.
You are going to run after him?
Absolutely.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of wake up, I guess. And,
Some dubstepian battle music.
I don't have music anymore. I'm just gonna move back here, kind of scooch back with my wounded self and kind of slump up against the wall. Just try to nurse my wounds.
Okay. Hobble?
I'm gonna call over to Renus and Elvi, and I guess Thaddeus. I would have, if I saw him move, and say, "There's one more guy over here, but I think we should capture him. I think we should tie him up. He's asleep right now." And then I'm gonna move over in his direction.
Okay. Elvi?
So gaining movement back, it's gonna be like, thanks Renus. I feel half languid after that one. But I do think that we should. Was he asleep? I think that we should to tie him up and question him for answers. What the hell, man? I am All right. So with that, I'm also going to kind of stand up the best I can and just kind of look around, seeing everything, and just deep sigh and disappointment in myself. And that's it.
Okay. Renus kind of gives you a nod, Hobble. Nods to Elvie as well, seeing you up. He kind of gives you a pat on the shoulder, and he's going to start making his way that way as well. Lashil, so you're running after him. He ran 60, so puts you 60 away.
So I will dash to him.
Okay, so you end up a little bit in front of him, about 10 feet in front, perhaps cutting him off.
But I can't do anything else, so that will be interesting.
Trying to do some math here. Hold that thought. Seeing you in front of him, he's going to simply try to spear away at you before he takes off again. I think the second one hits. I think you're AC 13, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so give me a con save on that. Still good. He stabs away at you. It's quite minor. Just a tiny gash, hardly draws blood. It's like a pinprick to you. You do take the full 2 damage because you're not raging. Then he takes off, although he's disengaging still, but he's only going to get 30 away, so easily catch up. Thaddeus, you're still healing away at yourself?
Yeah, I guess so.
Hobble?
Seeing that, was Elfie following? Did you move, Joey?
No, I didn't move.
Seeing that Renus is behind me and seems to agree that we should tie this guy up, I'm going to move away from him. I'm going to move 25 feet after Lashil. And I'm going to point in the direction that I saw her run off and cast message.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell her, don't get too far away from us. We can't get separated out here.
Can I respond, or do I have to wait for my turn?
No, you can respond. It's fine.
I'm not going far.
Okay.
Come back.
Alright, so both Elvie and Hobble, you also notice that as Renus was running over to catch up to you, over to where this other creature is, his movement seems to be getting just more and more sluggish. He seems to be getting slower and slower. In fact, as he went clambering up the side of that low mound, or the ridge, he just kind of barely made it up there. And with that, it goes to Elvie.
Can I go to the nearest? I can't see, but from where I would know, like the nearest green guy to be, check his pockets or whatever for possible antidote or some type of anything to help deal with the situation. And I do have like a dash as a bonus action, so I can go pretty far.
I don't think you can actually see any. You might have to wander around till you find one.
I can see.
Well, you know that.
this.
Yeah, you know
He
that.
would've
You know the
He would have seen me
sleep guy.
go to that guy.
That's true. That's true.
Alright.
Oh, you can't see him. It wasn't showing up on my screen.
I can see this one right there. Yeah.
Yeah, you can dash over there. Next turn, start rummaging through the pockets.
So that would be a bonus action to dash. Then.
Oh yeah, because you're a rogue. Righto.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and give me a investigation.
And 9.
Just a quick sweep of him. It doesn't reveal too much. You know readily that he has, a short bow, spear, seems to be wearing leather. The only other thing you find as you go through the pockets is a small vial that's mostly empty. You swirl it around, you can see it's this greenish, vibrant green liquid.
Oh, Habbo's gonna love this. He likes green things, right?
Loves them.
Love green. It's my favorite color.
Renus comes just kind of bumbling over, barely holding himself together at this point. He pulls out, I think he has rope. Oh, does he have rope anymore? It might have been his rope that we used.
I think it was his rope that we used.
Actually, he doesn't even have rope in his thing here, so he's simply going to grapple this guy. And it'll go to the shield as you catch up and fucking do your thing. That will hit, and that will definitely kill him. And how would you like to kill this last one?
I want to like vertically chop down on like his shoulder, but I want him to stay in one piece because I want to drag him back to the campsite where the others are.
Okay, you come running up behind him. He's dashing away as fast as he can. As he looks over his shoulder, the final glint of your battle axe as it glistens from the moonlight catches the corner of his eye, and it comes down between his shoulder blade and neck. You get about halfway through. There's some crunching of ribs as the top couple break, sort of lodged in there. You let it kind of just drag him behind you with the shaft of your weapon still gorged into him. Slowly make your way back. Renus will inevitably ask you, Elvie, if you have any rope.
Yeah, I have some. Here you go.
It says that it'll hold him while you tie him.
Alright.
That brings you out of combat. Almost as soon as you're done tying up this creature, however, you see Renus having a hard time holding on, and just as you tie the final knot, you see him lose his grip and he goes completely rigid. You see him fall onto the ground in a similar state as you.
I'm gonna yell for Habbo. Habbo, there's something wrong with Renus.
We're out of combat, right?
We are out of combat, and I think that's where we should end it before we do anything with the guy who's not here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sounds good.
Seems fair.
And it's our usual quit time. Well, what's supposed to be our quit time.
Right.
So, a little bit shorter than normal, but that's alright.
That's cool.
Spent way longer on that beach than I was expecting.
Did we get anywhere near 500?
Hell no.
It's worth a shot.
What did you guys get?
I killed a lot of things.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I mean, really, we played like 45 minutes less than normal. Actually, correction. We played much more than 45 minutes less. We played 45 minutes less than a 4-hour game. We only played for 3 hours and 15 minutes, so. And we spent a shit ton of time on that beach.
Damn, I need some more spell slots. Or we need to stop fighting people that are spread across 4 corners of a map.
you there, man?
Yeah, that was not much XP at all, unfortunately. Yeah, 160 experience each.
Fucking apes are worthless.
I mean, it's not that they're worthless. It's actually the apes are worth the same as these things.
We only killed one.
Thought I knocked
Well,
him
that doesn't matter.
unconscious.
You still get the XP for both because you effectively won that combat. But no, they're worth the same XP as these guys that you just fought. It's just that we only killed 6.
Well, we're more than halfway there.
True that.
I don't know if that's how you spell it. I doubt it, but it's late.
I don't think. Are you guys halfway there? I don't think so.
490. I have 495 out of 9.
I guess overall, yeah. I'm thinking just between the 2 levels.
Oh yeah.
I think you guys need something like a combined.
I think it's 600 to get from 2 to 3.
Right.
It's crazy. Like, looking at the way you're supposed to level in this at low levels, like, you imagine you're supposed to get level 1 and 2 relatively quickly, but divided amongst 5 players, like, fuck.
We have to fight a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was something like 2,800 and change, like, combined that you guys need to get just from this level to next, which is a ton of stuff. 2,800 experience is a lot of stuff to kill when, you know, these things only give you 50 each.
How much experience is surviving an airship crash worth?
Nothing.
-5.
Valuable life experience.
Nah, I mean, if you want to go off base combat, you guys wouldn't have even hit level 2 last session. You only
We
did that 'cause
roleplayed a little bit.
yeah.
Does roleplaying count as XP?
Yeah, no, I've had a roleplay XP in both weeks.
So, I need to get to bed though, because I have work in a couple hours and haven't slept in a while. So, I'll talk to you guys later. It was a lot of fun today.
All right, man.
Yes,
Have a good
lots of
night.
setup, but it should pick up here soon. So
All right. Peace out.
later.
Hi, buddy.